Like that. Don't mess with against it.
How much sweat I'm going through right now. Like, I'm not really sweating, but I'm sweating like mentally. My brain is hurting. I'm tired. I'm under pressure. Exactly, bro. I'm under pressure.
Excuses.
I know, man. I know exactly. I don't blame myself.
Everyone's coming back. They're coming back in.
But you guys, if you guys have been here before, you know that this is what happened for the first 20 minutes.
It's literally.
Yeah.
Their apologies, isn't it? It's always an apology every week.
Sorry.
But it's what happens when you do live stuff, don't it? Live things go wrong.
How it goes. That's
every week.
I'll be quiet. Keep quiet. You were late. Don't even say nothing. You were late. I didn't want to hear it.
I couldn't find the link. I didn't know where the link was.
Wait. Did you hear that? She didn't know where the link was. The same link. The exact same link. Same link.
No, because listen, you sent the thing with like a pointy finger or something, and I'm like, what, I need to scroll back up to find it?
You click the finger. Anyway, we're going to that one, right? So,
let's not. Scroll back up and find it.
Let's not.
I don't want anything to do with your fingers, thank you.
What's that? So it could be sticky fingers, right? Should we start again? Second time lucky?
Let's go six.
Let's try it again, right? So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Truuu Talk podcast. This is episode 7, right? And we are joined by, of course, the Truuu Talk First Lady, Miss Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
A man who needs no introduction, Mr. Truuu Talk himself, Ashley.
Yeah, I know.
A young lady who says if you're going to send her a picture, please make sure the angles right. That's Miss Milan. We have a guest in Miss Pookie. Miss Pookie, welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, myself, DJ Sticky Fingers, the guy who has all the technical issues and gets everything wrong. So yeah, that's what we're doing this week. As we said before, this week we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and we will also be talking about zodiac signs. So to kick us off with Black Lives Matter, we're going to show over to Ashley. Ashley, over to you, sir.
Oh yes, so let's kick it off. Obviously, I spat it before from the heart, so now I'm going to reiterate what I said. Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to say was, I see it in two ways. So I see the positive side, which is that it kind of allows people who are not aware of how things have been for the last 400 years to kind of get insight to what it's like. But it also makes me kind of feel like if you haven't been aware of what it's been like for all of this time, is what you're seeing now really going to change it? Because there's not nothing that's happening now that hasn't always happened. You feel me? So that's how I kind of look at it. Even though I do appreciate. I don't even appreciate. I don't feel like me personally, but I do feel like it's for a good reason. But like I said before, I feel like it's important that if we want our lives to matter, we have to matter to each other first of all, innit? Yeah. If we don't matter to each other, then we're not going to matter to other people. Yeah. And an example of that is if you look at other cultures or other people. For example, when I was a kid, we knew about Diwali. Yeah. Even if you're not Indian, you know about Diwali because the people make it important enough for other cultures to want to know about it and have to teach it in school. We knew about Ramadan, we knew about Chinese New Year, we knew about all of these different cultures and their culture, their celebrations, things that make them important. Yeah, we knew about it. We knew about their history. We knew about all of that stuff. But for us, we don't have that. That's why people don't see us as important. It's just like in school they have to learn about our New Year or our calendar or what we brought to the world or what we invented or our contribution to humanity. No, other races don't learn about that. Do you get me? That's why they don't respect us. That's why really and truly us having to say Black Lives Matter clearly shows that it don't matter and it's not going to necessarily make it now. You feel me? Mm. But yeah, let me just leave it there and just kind of see what everyone else kind of thinks. And you get me?
Well, if I can jump in there, right? So I know Ash said it before, and again, my apologies for the technical difficulties. Ash made a good point in terms of that certain things you see on social media, like people with kids, or after what happened to George Floyd, there was pictures of people like reenacting it, what's happened with the police officer on his neck, but like it was a joke. And again, as I said, I saw a couple of those pictures myself. I posted some on social media. But as I said before, actually is that these people live with us. These people think that this is funny. I saw a picture actually of 3 police officers saying with a placard it said "I can breathe," and it's like, come on, man. It's like just these people are our neighbours. These people are our colleagues. These people don't think that it's important. You know what I mean? So it's sad that people live with us. So yeah, that's why I can do it. Chiz, what about you? What's your thoughts?
On that, like, so in regard to, do you know that image you posted with the 2 white boys and the one white boy has his knee on the other white boy's neck? So I shared that image on Facebook. I don't really bother with Facebook, but I went on there and I shared it. And do you know how much attention it got? Like, a lot of people jumped on it. A lot of people had a lot to say about it. I had, you know, the majority was saying how disgusting it was, but then you had some people saying, well, you know, they're just kids and they were obviously don't know no better and they were joking. But then, after that then, I posted a video by Swiss, yeah, where he did video I Can't Breathe. And nobody really liked it. Nobody shared it. Nobody. Rosanna did, but nobody else did. And for me, I just think, you know, I understand why people look at those things and they've got a lot to say about those things, but everyone is so forthcoming and ready to share the negative. What about the positive side of it? What about the good things? And then in regards to black people supporting, you know, other black people, yeah, everyone says that. Everyone does that. But the fact is it doesn't happen. In fact, I've found anything that I'm doing, it's like my people don't support that. Do you get me? It's more times white people who would support that. I have personally found, especially where I live, that the black community, they do not stick together in a sense of they won't, if somebody's doing something good, somebody's doing something positive, they won't boost you. They'll just sit there and hate on you rather than actually support you. So I just think in regards to that, as black people, we really do need to look at each other, big each other up. The Chinese stick together, the Indians stick together. Why can't we? And it's fact. And I know that at some point, most black people have experienced that. And that's my biggest question is why don't black people support other black people? They don't support their businesses, they don't want to pay, they try and get discounts. Do you get me? Support the team. If my friend's doing something, I'm paying you full price. If anything, I'm tipping you. Do you get me? Because you're doing your thing. But black people they don't. And it's I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying that some black people don't support their own people. So sometimes we don't stand a chance, really, do we?
Man, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that one?
Me? Sorry.
Yeah.
So my cousin posted something on his WhatsApp today about the black community not standing together. So he lives in North London and he went to a local shop, ordered 1 piece of chicken, 1 piece of barbecue chicken, like rice, and a piece of hard food. That's all it was. Not even loads of, just a piece of hard food. And it was £17. Didn't come with a drink. It was just £17. That's it. So he bought it, you know, he's supporting the black people in his community. But he said he had to reason with the owner in the shop and was like, this is why like McDonald's will always win, or even like fish and chips will always win, because obviously we know how to cook like our food, and a lot of the time we don't want to support the people because £17 for 1 piece of chicken, rice, and 1 piece of hard food. 17, no drink, no planting, no dubs, just that was it in a box. Not even a big container, just a normal sized Chinese container. And then it's like, if a non-black person then went in that shop and tried to buy that £17 when they're thinking but I can get a deal with Pizza Hut for £20, get 2 large pizzas, 2 sides, a drink and an ice cream. Or I can go to like Morley's or Favourites or whatever's in your area and get 2 pieces of chicken, wings, chips, a drink, maybe even throw in apple pie for under a tenner. How is this like working? So he was talking about that, and it was like, I don't know if black people are, I don't want to say like money hungry, because obviously everybody is. If you have your own business, you want it to do well and you want to make money. But why do we need to overcharge on our food? Even if you go to the Chinese, you can get like a chicken chow mein. It's what, under a £5 for all of that? Do you know what I mean? So that was touched on that topic, and then touching on the protests and stuff that happen at the moment. I was talking to my friend as well, and she brought up a point, and it made me think, because she was saying, so, because I said to her, I'm not quite sure if I'm right, but I'm sure a few years ago we protested for the same thing, and nothing's changed. It was like Black Lives Matter. There was things on Instagram and Facebook and all over the social media, all over on the national media. There was protests, and nothing still changed. But she was like, the protests, how she put it was, back in the day when they protested for women to have the vote, it was protesting for something to happen. So they protested for women to have the vote. So something had to change, and now women have the vote. We're protesting for Black Lives Matter, but it's a mindset that needs to be changed throughout the world. If you, down to toys that are given to kids, how hard is it to find a black doll? If you want a white doll, okay, there's not Toys R Us anymore, but you can go Toys R Us, Tesco's, Argos, all these different shops to find a Barbie. But try to find a black doll. You got to look on eBay, Amazon. You're searching to find it because it's not readily available. And there are companies that are now coming out with it, but at first it's not there in your face. It's not there. Down to what kids are taught in school, to the media, to TV, and in like a movie. Why in a movie, the black family, it's always like a single mom who lives on a council estate, who has all these different baby fathers, who her kids are shot in, her daughters are hurt. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's the stereotype that we're putting into movies and into TV programs that we're all sitting at home and watching as if it's normal when it's not. There
was one thing you said that was sick, yeah, that I want you to, that I want to hold, like, I want to elaborate on, yeah. Not even I want to elaborate on, but I want you to elaborate on, yeah, is that the black, like, because even I can see it in a comment, it's saying about the Black Lives Matter not having a clear goal. You see, like, the women's movement, women's rights movement, they had a clear goal, like they said, we want women to be able to vote. I think that's the one of the main issues. What do we want?
What do we want? What do we want to change? Do you want, obviously, we want police to stop killing black people and getting away with it. Even if that stops, there's going to be something else that we're going to be like, hold on, but that's not right. Like I said, in the media, or that's not right in the toys that we're giving our kids. What do we want? What's the end goal for
you know what? I was talking to someone on Facebook today, yeah, and there was, and obviously at first they wrote a comment, yeah, and they were saying about the reason why he died is because they put him in a prone position, and a prone position caused positional asphyxia or something like that. Positional asphyxia. That's what my man was saying. So obviously, when I first read it, I kind of got offended, and I felt like, are you basically trying to put aside the fact that these men intentionally killed this man out of hate and out of fear of blackness? Yeah, that's the reason why they actually killed him. Yeah, but he was saying, okay, cool. I'm not trying to say that they didn't kill him for that reason, but positional asphyxia is the actual definition of why he died. Yeah. Yeah, and I understood where he was coming from because I work in a place where if you restrain man and you put man on the chest, you have to be aware that you can kill that person. You get me? So what has to happen is the law has to change and people have to stop being allowed to do certain things. You get me? So I had to get to a point where I had to say to the man, you know what? Thank you for giving me your opinion, and I'm not going to just argue with you for argument's sake, because you're right. Policy has to change. Law has to change. There's lots of things that have to change in order for us to really be safe. You get me?
Yeah, but once before you click on to Fuki, I was going to read some messages in the comments, right? So Mind, Body and Soul UK says, yes, we need to stick together and support each other, not just share negative posts online or be in competition. Reese Repub, I hope I said it correctly, says, that's the crabs in bucket thing. I'm not sure what they mean by that specifically. Also says, we're all trying to get out. It's the greed that makes us non-supportive. Can Rick once says Black Lives Matter has no clear goal, going by what Ashley was saying as well. What is the goal? Also says just an aimless protest for the same shit to happen again, which is, you know, again, as Ashley was saying, what's the goal in it? I'll go over to Pookie. Pookie, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, it's kind of the same as what you're saying. There isn't a clear goal. With the protests, we did do it a couple of years ago. We done it for Grenfell. Then before that, we done it for Eric Garner. Then before that, it was Damilola Taylor, even though that wasn't a police incident. Before that, Stephen Lawrence. Before that, we were free in the Cardiff Three. But there's no, like, exactly the same point with the women's movement. There's a clear goal. We want this. But we want, like, the change in the education, the change in the way the police is set up. See what Ashley said about the moves. I was a carer for people with mental health for 5 years, and some of those moves you're not supposed to do anyway. Half of the police ones are from things like Krav Maga, Muay Thai, boxing, judo, karate. All of those sports tell you when you're in that class, you are not to use that outside. You don't use it outside the principles it is for, because you can kill people. That shouldn't be taught. Why is that taught? But it is even taught here, even the same, even though that is in America, it's not as violent, but it still kind of is. It has the potential to be as violent as that has. I've walked down the street with we had this conversation the other week. Where I grew up is a very black-dominated community. My entire life, from the docks to Fitzallen. So the majority of my friends have got dark skin. So when we walk somewhere, I've been walking down the street and my friend had been stopped and pushed against the wall. Hang on, because he's a black man. Obviously, kids, you know my mouth doesn't stop in it, so I will get pushed against the wall, but I'm not getting pushed against the wall because of the colour of my skin. I'm getting pushed against the wall because I'm telling you how to do your fucking job. I'll cry in a minute, guys, just FYI. I'm a very emotional being, and I can't take this shit as much as I can't understand from your point, because I will never experience that, but I've witnessed it, I watch it happening, I fight against it, and there's nothing that I can do. And now, what do we do now? What's next? I'll go to a march tomorrow because I want to find out who's real, who's not, because I'm making a team, because I'm going to make the fight, and I'll put the wheels in motion. I'll get my people together. I'm going to make a change. I promise you, I'm going to change the fucking world.
Yes.
There's so much fake shit. I'm shaking like a shitting dog now, guys. But there's so much fake shit. It's like there's about 7 protests going on in the next 2 days. You miss the whole fucking point of us being together. The point is to be as one. We're fighting one thing as one people. Why are you doing so many different protests?
Yeah.
Most of these people, what do you want to do? Sit on the fucking grass again?
And this is my point. This is why I'm not doing it.
Because I could go and sit on the grass with my family, see, but I'll get fined to go and sit on the grass with my family at the moment, COVID.
So also, we've got to say hello, obviously, welcome to our Welsh Princess Nadia, who was a little bit late.
Hi, Nad.
And also, he's always late, and we've also got Marcus that's joined us as well. Welcome, Marcus.
Hey.
Big up, Marcus.
My brother.
My brother, I don't know him, but my brother anyway. My brother, I will salute you.
No, he's done
I'm
now.
I'm saying. So Nadia, in fact, before I go to Nadia, to be some more in messages. Reese's Reaper says, complete separation for the Negro. We need to build our own nations up again. And Canaric One says, at the moment it seems unrealistic, but we need a point where police or any racists are scared to kill black people. I agree. Mind, Body and Soul UK says, yes, unity. The goal should be to build and support our own, protect our brothers and sisters at all costs, and make sure mental well-being is okay because the system isn't built for us. I agree with that 100%, definitely. Nadia, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, obviously I've just jumped on now, but I just think, I just want to make a little point actually. My son's 14, as you know, most of you know, and he asked if he could go to the protest on the weekend in Cardiff. So I said, obviously, if you want to go, I'm with you on that. And I think that's an amazing, beautiful thing that you want to do, and I'll come with you. And then I had a text message from one of his friend's mums. Her children are white. And she's texted me today that she was really concerned that her son was really emotional about my son going to the protest because he was worried that my son was going to be attacked with tear gas. So you can imagine what kind of things they're seeing on social media at the moment. It's going crazy, obviously, since this event has happened. And there's obviously more cases being shown on, social media, on different platforms. So in their eyes, they're seeing the racially motivated attacks on, different, like obviously black people, but obviously people of dark skin. So my son has obviously got a very diverse background. He's got his family from Jamaica, Africa, Arab. He's very multicultural. So his friends were concerned about him going to a protest in case he was sprayed with tear gas. I'm not going to lie, that really hit a nerve because I have to specify, we are lucky that we live in this country and it's not as violent as it is in America. It's not as extreme. But no one's to say that that's not going to happen because nobody knows how a protest is going to go anyway. But I just feel, I do feel that, for a 14-year-old to feel this way is definitely an eye-opener, and something's got to be done because, it's been going on for so long. It's not a new thing. The violence has been going on for such a long time. It just hasn't been shown. It hasn't. We're lucky now because we've got social media, we've got technology to film these events happening, these situations happening, so that we can protest, we can try and make a change and do something about it. But is a protest really going to make that much difference? It needs to be a peaceful protest. There's not going to be a peaceful protest, is it, realistically?
Do you think that we're lucky though? Do you think that social media makes us lucky though? Because people were protesting before social media. There would be slavery now if they weren't protesting. You get me? There's revolutions. There was civil rights. Yeah. There's been protests for too many years. So I don't think social media has helped. It just kind of makes us feel worse about it. It just kind of angers us more because we have to.
Because it's been going on for so long.
You can't turn it off. You have to watch it. But I guess it's good because everybody has to watch it. The best thing that I've seen from this is the little white girl that was telling her parents the truth about the situation. She was educating her parents, and that means that she's going to educate her children. That means that's a change. She will change a generation because she's going to be a mother who's going to teach her kids differently. And she will get me. And we already know it's likely that she will get me. I mean, not to say that, but the fact of it is that she's going to be the difference, isn't it? Things like that are the only benefit of seeing kind of shit so frequently.
Marcus, as our guest, what's your thoughts? Let me put you on the spot. He's like, I'm not even ready yet. I'm still muted.
I'm muted.
Don't worry, Marcus. We've all done. I've got plenty of technical issues. Don't worry. But yeah, over to you. You're still muted on Marcus.
Yeah, me?
Yes.
Yes.
I missed the beginning portion I did, so can we be a little bit specific on exactly what my opinion should be on.
Marcus,
Yeah.
your opinion can be whatever you want to express. Anything that you want to say, it's very free. Say what you're saying, bro.
All right. First of all, I don't even think this is about. Well, not now anyway. It started out as a black versus white problem, yeah, but now it's crossed over into good versus evil. I reckon because you got the system, and then you got the victims.
I think someone's sound, it's like it's echoing.
Yeah, what it is.
Bro, what are you doing?
Me and Rose is in the same room.
My God, you need to go. You're gonna have to go far away. You can't. It's gonna be mad. Someone's gonna have to take their thing off.
I've left.
Okay.
It's not still on it.
It's not. It's finished. Where was I? Yeah,
you said that.
I was saying I think it's gone from black versus white thing to not even a black versus white thing, systemic practice versus blacks. I think now it's crossed over. It's a battle between good and evil, and I'll tell you why. Because you've got the system and you've got the victim. Okay, there's no middle ground in this. Somebody has to take a side. You have to choose a side. Now you're either with the oppressor or you're with the oppressed. That's what I think personally. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is gonna go right, and I'm talking today, tomorrow, the day after. This is gonna cross right down through the younger generation, well, the semi-young generation, which is us, and then it's gonna go down into teenagers, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have kids in school fighting over that, like having arguments using language they shouldn't be using. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, does it have to get that bad? Does it have to get like this before people wake up and starts to realize race? It's not just like, in a minute, it's not just going to be black people dying. I hope. And I say I hope because, listen, if your white friends are with you, then let them stand with you too, innit? You know what I mean? Or and not even your white friends, but anybody out there that's like, I'm not racist. Well, not being not racist ain't enough no more. You got to prove you're anti-racist. That's what I think. To be not racist, that's not working anymore. You got to choose a side. You either with the, like I said, you're either with the oppressor or you're with the oppressed. Either way, I think the system's fucked. I think the system's fucked now because, excuse my language, but
that's cool.
Here's what I think. Yeah, is instead of it being a racism thing, you got the whole world. Well, to say the whole world, as far as us in this country and in America is concerned, people are waking up now and realizing, race, this ain't just black. This ain't a black-white thing. This ain't just a racism thing in the streets. This is systemic abuse. You know, from top to bottom. You know, it's a systemic practice against us as a people. So, and then when you get police officers involved in America and here too, then it gets personal. It's a personal thing. So you've got white on black, you know, personally. Blood's about to be spilled, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, yeah, people are waking up, man, and I think either people prove that the system is racist and let this continue, or something's got to be done about it. Something's gonna be done about it. But I think that's the $1 million question. What's gonna be done about it?
Exactly.
What's going to be done about it? And more importantly, who's gonna do it? Are we gonna leave it to them, or are we gonna say fuck it, we've had enough?
I'll say that's the question, isn't it? How do we change things? So, Milan, if I ask you, how do what can we do? I'm not saying you've got the answer to everything. Put you on the spot. I'm saying, Milan, how do you think we could change things or make things better for us, for everyone? Well, I say for us first of all. I say for us because it's almost like we're at the bottom of the tree when it comes to certain things in public opinion at times. So how do we change things for us?
I think for it to change, like Ashley was saying, there's certain laws that need to be changed. There are mindsets need to be changed. So as soon as these kids go into school, you can't just enforce a negative opinion on Black people from the offset. It's not going to help this situation. One thing that like Nadia was saying, she said her son is like 14. My son is 5. And the other day, I realised he's now starting to see colour. So when he was in nursery, his best friend was called Oscar, who was a white kid. And he used to be like, this is my brother. And Oscar had a little sister. And he was like, this is my sister. Even from when Oscar's little sister, I can't remember her name, but when she was first born, he used to stand by her buggy. I used to speak to Oscar's mum, and he would stand by the buggy, holding her hand, singing her like nursery rhymes, and I'll be like, Marshall, we need to go, and he'll be like, no, I'm going home with them. Like, this is my brother and this is my sister, and I'm like, no, we need to. Our house is this way. And he's like, no, Oscar is my brother, and Oscar lives that way, so I'm going this way. And I think we was in the park and someone was doing something and he was like, and obviously he's 5, he doesn't understand. So he was like, he said out loud, blatant, that white man. And I was like, so what? He was like, that white man. I was like, what about, why did you say he was white? Because if I'm around my son, I'm like, you know, the person in the grey top or the blue hat. Why did you say the white man? And he was like, well, he's white. And I'm like, okay, so what colour are you? And he's like, I'm Black, but I want to be white. And I said, pardon. And then I didn't really, obviously I'm out and about. I wasn't going to get into a conversation with like a 5-year-old on the street. When we then got home that night, I forgot about it. So when we got home that night, I bathed him and I put cream on him. So he's got eczema and his cream is white. So normally I like pump it on him and he rubs it in. So I pumped it on him and he literally rubbed it in like that so that it didn't absorb in his skin, and he just left a white like layer on his skin. So I'm like rubbing the cream. I was like, I can't put on your pajamas. And he was like, no, because I want to be white. Now that's a 5-year-old. Nothing's happened to him. He's not been, from what I know of, and obviously I've been on lockdown for how many months, and I haven't sent him back to school. And he's only been around me, my mum and his dad. So from what I know of, he's not been like bullied for the colour of his skin. No one's outright said to him, you're a Black boy and you're like, he's not seen anything. All I've had on is the news and the radio. And it's like now he's noticing, well, hold on, I'm different to these other people. And why is that? To the point where yesterday they had a protest in Croydon in the morning. And my mum went and she FaceTimed me to show me, because I didn't want to take my kid. So she FaceTimed me to show me what was going on. So he's nosy, he's come over, he's looking on my phone and he said, oh, like, what is this? I was like, oh, like, Nana's at a protest. And literally he started crying and he was like, I don't want her to be there because she's going to get killed. Now that's my 5-year-old scared that like my mum will be killed at a protest because she's Black. Where's he getting this from? From the media and the news. Because I don't talk to him about it because he's, to my eyes, he's 5 and I didn't think, like, maybe I'm ignorant or I don't know, maybe I don't want to see it, but I didn't think he saw colour as yet. I didn't think it would be a subject that I'd need to sit him down and try to get him to understand as yet. Like, I've bought books and stuff for him by like, Black authors, and they have Black people in it, which have like a positive message in it. But I didn't think I would have to sit down at 5 years old and explain to him it's okay to be black. Black is beautiful, black is great, and you need to be proud of the skin that you're in. You don't want to be white. You want to be who you are. How's that going to change? And this is by stuff that he's seeing and hearing on the media. That's how it needs to change. Things in the media. Obviously, now I realise as a parent, there's stuff I need to do now. Can
I just one of your points here? Because you said something which I think was mad important, yeah, and it was about education, yeah? And it was about school, yeah, and it was about helping people to understand something. You see, if people really understood how much black people contributed to humanity and contributed to and how much they contributed to this world that we live in now, not just culturally, but in terms of history, in terms of science, in terms of medicine, in terms of maths, in terms of documentation, in terms of story, in terms of art, in terms of music, in terms of all of these things, yeah, we're really aware, then they would have no choice but to love and respect black people. But because we're not taught that black people had an influence on every single culture that exists today, people don't respect it, innit? So this is why people are not grown to love black people. And it's only because people only love black people later on. See, when they're kids and that, you see when people grow up, yeah? I'm not saying that kids grow up racist, yeah? But you see when kids are in school, they're true about how their family are. They're part of how they move how their family really move, yeah? And they will tell you, oh, they're niggas, like, they get me, like, oh, niggas are this, and they get me, oh, da-da-da-da. You will hear it, especially if you grow around white people, like, they get me. Obviously, man grew around enough white boys to know how white boys move and the things that they say, get me? Like, and it's only because they don't really see nothing special about black people, bro. And that's just the truth. Only when they get a bit older and they start getting involved in man's culture, man's music, you get me? Certain things that are cool, when they realize that what being black is cool, yeah, that's when they start loving the culture. You get me? And slowly start loving the people. But really and truly, like, if you want it to be real, you need to people need to be aware of how we influence the world. You get what I'm saying? Black people influence the whole planet. You get me? Until we're honest about that, yeah, then people are not really going to truly appreciate black people like that.
Sorry, can I just touch back on what you were saying? So, even today, I'm 28. I don't know why I thought about that. I'm 28, and today's date, whatever today is, I learned a black person invented an ironing board. A black person invented the inside of the light bulb, like the little filament thing. A black person invented that. A black person invented the fastest computer, and then he then went on to get a PhD in computer science or something like that. And a black person invented the speakers and the cameras in your phone. A black person invented that. I never knew. Today, 28, I learned that. I was like, swear down we did that. And there's so much other stuff out there that I don't know, and the world doesn't know, that black people have contributed to. Why don't we know that? That's education. Why don't we know that? Why do we only learn that, and I don't know his name, I didn't really listen in school, but why did we only learn the white man invented the light bulb? Yeah, he invented the glass of it, but he didn't invent the filament. If that white man only invented the glass, today we wouldn't have bulbs, because what's making it light up? Nothing. It's just a glass with nothing in it. Or we'd have to put a candle in it to make it work. Like,
let's introduce the gentleman though, because I don't get me.
Yes.
Who?
Let's introduce
Gentleman.
It's like,
I think Amir, is it?
AKA Mr. 10 Gigas. 10.
bigging him up.
10.
Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to say, sorry, before someone else can speak, not someone else can speak, you know what I mean? Two things I wanted to pick up on, sorry. Don't laugh at me. One was, why is it, say we see a non-black person, so this is of any race now, so this could be Asian, white, I don't really know any other races. Anyway, just a non-black person, if we see them in a baseball cap, a tracksuit or jeans hanging down by his arse, trainers on. He's walking with a bot. So we haven't heard his voice. We haven't heard his voice at all. But he's walking with a bot. He's got a slit eyebrow and he's got a pouch around him. Why do we automatically say, why is he trying to be black? When did we adopt that black stereotype? Because I know enough black boys that don't walk around like that. But why is that a black thing? Why can't a guy, why can't a guy in a suit and a briefcase be, oh, why is he trying to be black? Why can't that be that? Because, but it's just not. It's not seen, that's seen as a white man thing. Do you know what I mean? And the second thing I wanted to touch on was I didn't see the before and after. I just saw a snippet of a program that I'm guessing was on, I don't know, Channel 4 or Channel 5, and it was a teacher, and she was saying, I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but she was saying that in her class there were a lot of black people and a lot of half-caste people, and she was like, the half-caste people are beautiful, and I'm like, well, everyone's beautiful in their own way, like, what are you talking about? But then she said, one of the half-caste girls fell over in the playground and scraped up her face. And she was like, I can't believe she scraped her face because her face was beautiful. And then she said, I didn't know that underneath a black person's skin, it's pink. She was like, now, I didn't know if it was supposed to be black underneath, but I didn't expect it to be pink. And then the clip just ended. That was it. So, like I said, I didn't see the before. I don't know why that conversation came about, and I never saw the after. There was just that clip on the internet. It could have been edited. I don't know. But what colour do you think we have inside? I don't get it. I've got the same teeth as you. I've got the same brown eyes as you. I've got the same brown hair. What colour did you think was underneath here? When I bleed, enough black people have died, and it's been on the media. Our blood is still red. What colour did you think it would be underneath if we scraped our heads? Why would it be black? I don't understand. But and she was a teacher. I'm not quite sure if it was like a high school or a primary school, but she was a teacher saying that, just sipping her tea in the staff room, just like, I don't understand why they wasn't black underneath.
Yeah,
live ended.
Wait, the live is ending?
Yeah, I know, the live is ended. So, Amir, we're going to come up to you in a second, right? Let me just reset the live because it's been an hour. It cuts out after an hour.
Wow, it's been an hour already.
It's been an hour already.
My pad, I was about to write it down.
I know.
Well, I've dropped some topics for everyone else to pick up on if they want to.
Do you know one thing, though? Do you know what I hate? Can I say one thing? I actually detest the term half-caste.
Half-caste means half pure.
Me also, did you see the face?
I didn't like it either, still.
Right, guys, we'll be live in about 10 seconds, yeah?
Okay.
Oh my God, sorry.
15.
Let me get a drink. Wait.
All right, look, let me get on there. Can introduce himself, yeah?
Yes, let Mr. Tengiers introduce himself. Man's been waiting for a while, isn't it? Been a minute, been a while, but
I've been waiting.
He's been waiting for a minute.
Is there more people?
He's gone. He said, "Yo, I'm gone."
Oh, we good, yeah?
Yeah, we're good.
No, wait, hold on.
I'm just checking on my daughter, innit?
Oh, bless her.
She's sleeping, innit? So.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm blessed, man.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Hold on, wait.
Wait.
There we go.
There's a different one.
Amir, over to you, man. Over to you. We're back live.
It says we're having trouble loading the video. It won't load.
My notes.
Oh, it's on. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
We're good, yeah?
We're back live. So, Amir, welcome. Another guest, welcome.
Blessings.
Welcome. Let us know your thoughts.
Blessings. My name's Amir. A lot of people know me as Ken or Mr. 10 Gears. I was in prison for 10 years. GBH on 2 police officers. I went in prison 2006, came out 2015. I'm right now, I've been out 4 years and I'm a construction manager for a main contractor on a £105 million project. As well as that, I do mentoring. I'm a rapper as well. Well, I like to call myself a wordsmith. I don't like to use the term rapper. My style is quite, it's like conscious but road, because most people can feel the energy from me in it, the energy and the aura from me. You can hear it in my tone and my voice, and if you see me in person, or even if you listen to some of my stuff, you can hear the rawness, but I'm also dropping gems as well. So there's bits of knowledge as well in what I've been dropping. So yeah, that's just a brief backstory of me, if anyone heard that.
We all heard it. So, well, no, what's your views on talking about the Black Lives Matter movement? What's your views on it?
For me, I'm 50-50. But the simple fact is, we've been doing protests since like 1920s, and nothing. Little things have happened, but like, all right. With the protests that happen now in London, like, what is the goal? Cool, we get that Black Lives Matter, but what is the actual goal? What is the next step moving forward? Like, what are people actually going there for? Like, what do we want? What do we want? Forget about America. As a community over here, England is the flagship. If you want to talk about racism, England is the flagship. I'm sure we know that as a community, we're not united in a sense. One of the biggest things I was thinking earlier about education, everything starts at home, really, innit? I was taught from young, from like 6, about my tone. I know about melanin from when I was 6, about my body makeup, like history. My dad taught me these things from young, so everything starts from home. But as well as education is one thing, but without money and an economic structure, it's nothing. Like, we don't have no economy structure within us. Like, a simple example is like the Jewish and Indian people. The Jewish have their own police force, money circulated within their community. We don't even know how to circulate money within our community, because financial education wasn't taught to us, and it's not taught to us by the state, and it hasn't been taught to us by our parents and whoever before. It was like, I'm 35, so my parents and like their parents, it was more of a survival instinct. As people know, like when people came over, whatever generation you are, it's more of a survival thing. So money is the only thing respected in this world. It doesn't matter about your skin tone. Like, if we don't have like a structure for our economy where money is generated and we can build things, like, we don't have nothing for ourselves. Money's just released out. As well as, we're not in politics, we don't have no black party. A brilliant idea would be to have an independent black party running in, whether America have their own, if you have your own thing, or even over here. And because with politics, rights get pushed and agendas can get pushed through that. So just protesting on the streets is one thing, but if you're not pushing any agenda through politics or anything, or have any politicians in your pocket in that sense, nothing's going to get pushed. It's like the LBG community. Look how their progression was just like, now it's just like, it's a madness. There's stuffs on TV, you got people doing stuffs, like, and they're in Parliament. Like, we're not even there. So walking along the streets is good, but what do you want in it? Or what are we gonna, this blackout Tuesday stuff? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just
No, you're right, bro. You're right, man.
I'm thinking of all different aspects, not Like there was a post today where people were posting a picture of themselves of black men, and then something about I'm a black man, something challenge or something, and a little bio. Like I'm not on that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what there is to gain of it. I don't get these little things that, and as well as.
It's because, you know what it is, bro? You see them people there, they're not black men any other time. Do you get it?
I hear you.
So they're trying to make people know I'm a black man now. I swear, like, now today. You see me, this is why I put on the top of my thing, the first thing that says, I'm black, fam. You get me?
Yeah.
To make people know that I'm aware, I'm a black man. That's first, foremost. That's the first thing you see when you see me. That's the first thing I see when I see me too. Do you get it? I'm not going to pretend I don't see it. I'm not going to pretend I'm ashamed of it. I'm not going to pretend that I don't want people to notice it. That's the first thing I want you to notice when you notice me. That's the first thing I say on my team. You get me, like, and I don't think people are proud. You get me, like, I don't think people are proud because, you know, like, the first thing is you have to understand that what you were saying about all the things that we don't have. Once you can admit that we don't have all these things, then we can work on getting. Do you get?
Yeah.
A lot of men don't want to admit where their flaws lie and where they're weak and where they're not perfect. Do you get me?
Yeah.
I don't want to pretend you know everything, bro. You have to say you don't know in order to learn. You feel me?
Very true.
Like,
very true.
Let's be honest. We don't know certain things. We haven't achieved certain things. We haven't accomplished certain knowledge and certain things, and we have to do it in order to get respected. Do you get me? Because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's about respect. And if you know what it is, like-minded. I don't like. Obviously, my brothers think a little bit like man, yeah. But like I'm saying, everyone isn't necessarily a boss. Everyone isn't necessarily a leader. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone and people need to be honest about the position that they're able to play in this. If we're gonna call it a revolution, because that's what I feel like we need. If we're gonna call it a revolution,
it's not even a revolution. It's not even a revolution right now. It hasn't even. That ain't
I
even.
think that's what we need, though. That's what we need to get to.
Yeah,
We
indeed.
need to get to a revolution, but we can't get there until
I think the narrative's been set.
That they're able to play, not like that.
Yeah, I believe that there's a narrative being set for that to happen, where there's going to be a revolution, and I feel like even right now, it's like there's a narrative being pushed on us for who's going to be our leader, because over here, we've never had black leaders, really. No, I shouldn't say never. Like,
not identifiable like that. Still, right?
I'm 35. I'm 35. I don't know of anyone that I can be like that guy. I don't know no one. Like, America's had their thing. We've like forget generations. Like, for this era right now, we don't have, and I feel like there's a narrative being pushed, as well as the amount of stuff that's been flooding on social media. It's out of control. Like, they control the narrative. Like, they control it. I remember posting something on Black History, a freestyle on Black History. It took me 3 days on Instagram to post it because they wouldn't let me post it on Black History. But my feed right now is just people just getting licked down, murder, desensitizing. I swear that breaches the Instagram guidelines, though. Like, there's so much.
Only because seeing black people getting killed, like I was watching something here, and it was talking about basically being able to say certain things, yeah, derogatory terms, offensive terms, whatever, yeah. They're saying if it's black people saying it for black people, then they will let it run. Like, it will go on the radio, it will go on TV, it will go anywhere because it's for them, innit? It's them doing it for them. It's all right. But, like, there's a guideline in terms of they wouldn't let you say that kind of offensive stuff about a Jew or about, you know what I'm saying, about a different set of people, because guidelines would just not allow it, innit? You get me? The same way they wouldn't allow it for a white person to say something racist about a black person, but they would allow a black person to say anything negative about black people for black people. You feel me? Like,
but you're right.
Let me read some of the messages of the live. Hold on. Let me read some messages of the live. Right. So, Mind Body Soul UK says 1,000%. CRXY, the artist, says, can't lie. That's a very interesting point, especially on the post. I think about Ashley's post. Artist Substance says, join Hello Substance. Mayday Carter says, it all goes towards keeping the momentum. It's not why to talk down any of the movement. We've never had this energy in our generation. Add your thing, but don't subtract. And Mind, Body, Soul says they can block people speaking freely, but show mass murder of black people online, it's brainwashing. So let's jump over to Chidi. Chidi, what's your views? I said, and actually made some really fantastic points there, actually, to be fair. Had me nodding like Patricia Cash. But what's your views?
I just believe that, like, so obviously, as a people, and I'm talking about like both black and white, we have to be able to admit our mistakes, admit where we've gone wrong, admit the things that we lack. We also have to talk about the things that we do have and the things that we can do and what we can implement to kind of make change. Because, I don't know, for me, so I live in Cardiff, yeah, and there's a protest tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow, yeah? I will not be attending. And the reasons as to why I will not be attending is because I grew up in Wales, and as far as I'm concerned, Wales is a very racist place, yeah? And not, I would say, Cardiff is one of the better places because there's a large black community, but in general, Wales is a racist place, yeah? I've experienced a lot of racism growing up in that. And it's like, this, all of this, everything that is going on now, yeah? Everyone's acting shocked. Everyone's acting surprised. They're like, oh my God, can't be, hang on a minute. This shit been happening for years. This shit goes back to when my mum grew up in Cardiff. Before she moved to London, she grew up in Cardiff. She experienced it. My grandmother came from the West Indies. She experienced it. Her mother came. She experienced it. So people are acting surprised. People keep saying, oh my God, I'm so shocked. Why are you shocked? Black people have been putting up with this shit from the beginning of time. And then they want to accuse us of being, we're too angry, or we're too bitter, or we need to get over things. So, okay, yeah, we are angry, but I can't speak for all black people, but I know I'm angry as a black person. But at the same time, it's like, the reasons as to why I'm angry is because this shit is still happening. And I know it's going to happen. When I I've applied for a job, I got made redundant, yeah? Like about 3 years back, it was all mad. Got made redundant, and another nursery heard of me, and they contacted me and they said, yeah, we've heard of you, X, Y, Z and whatever. And they heard of me on the basis of my colour, not as me as a person. And I will say this on the live, I don't care, because it's fact, yeah? They heard about me on the basis of my colour, and they're like, yeah, let's have the black girl. Do you get me? Let's bring the black girl in, because it shows equality. It shows that we're not racist. It shows I work in a very racist part of Cardiff. Well, I work in Penarth, and it's racist as far as I'm concerned. It's very racist. It's like, well, I'll be doing certain school runs, or I'll be doing certain things, and they're looking at me like, oh my God, it's a black person. Do you get me? It's really strange. So then they wonder why I get my back up when they're, making black jokes, when they're mocking my culture. I'm going to give you an example, yeah? Listen to this. So my background, my ethnic background, my family are from the Caribbean, yeah? And in work, we were doing Black History Month. They don't really know nothing about Black History Month. I had to bring Black History Month into the nursery, yeah? So we're doing Black History Month, and they wanted to focus on different countries. Amazing, yeah? I'm at home in my own private time, minding my own business. I received a message from one of my colleagues, and she said to me, we're focusing on Africa next week, so would you be able to bring in any African attire that you might have at home? X, Y, Z. So I had to take a deep breath before I replied. It was all mad. It was all mad. But I was good, do you get me? I remain professional because they'll say I'm that angry black person. So on the Monday when I went into work then, I then went in and someone said to me, oh, like kind of shit, what happened? And I was like, 2 seconds, let me just go back to my car and get my spear, yeah, because I've left that there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the phone and I'm going to phone like the head Zulu, innit, and ask him to come in and talk to the kids because it's all mad, innit? So I said, like, I asked every single one of my colleagues, where am I from? Where am I from? Where's my family from? Oh, I think I saw you post something about Antigua. Is it that's in Africa, innit? They haven't got a clue. They don't know nothing about us. So then they want to say, well, why are you getting mad though? Why are you getting upset though? I'm getting upset because you do not educate yourselves. You don't know. So therefore, don't message me and tell me about from my ancestors to yours. I'm sorry. Nah, fuck off. Stick your apology. Stick it up your ass, yeah, deep in your anus, because I don't want that, because you haven't taken the time out to educate yourself about me. So why the fuck should I give a fuck about you, your opinion, your background, the fact that you're not racist, the fact that they're my best friends, why? The fact that you suck black dick, the fact that I don't give a fuck what it is, do you get me? I am not going to a protest where white people are fighting for us, yeah? But at the same time, you're not even going out of your way to learn about me. So I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about your protest, yeah? Thank you, go you. Maybe the government will listen to their own people, because we know the government's white, yeah? Maybe they will listen to their own people at some point, but I'm not listening. I'm staying at home, in my bubble. I will fight for my people, because I've been fighting for my people from the moment I was born. That's all I got to say on it. All I got to say.
Boom! Hey, that was fire flame. Let's give her a round of applause. Unmute yourself quickly.
Hey,
that was
hey.
That was something. You get me? About to call you Martin Luther Queen in this shit.
Shooting for president or prime minister.
Hey, Pooks, I know you wanted to say something and you've been down for a minute, Pooks. So, Pooks, talk to us, because I know you've been down for a minute. Unmute yourself, girl.
Unmute your mic.
Sorry, I didn't hear. I just heard that. I just got carried away because I was looking for the box. You know. You know how it goes. No, I am going to go to the thing tomorrow, like I said, only because I need to find the real people from there. Like I said, and I know the majority of it's going to be full of shit. It's a lot of people going for a photo opportunity. They're not. But like I said, I've been the first Black Lives Matter protest I went to. I was 5 years old. Mama donned me in her own little thing that she wrote on, and we walked the streets with everybody else. It was Free the Cardiff 3. Then the next one, like I said, where's my bloody pad? And then the next one, like we was. Where's that? Oh, there it is. Sorry. I was ready to go on my tangent then, obviously. But then, like I said earlier on, then we done Stephen Lawrence. We done the same thing for Damilola Taylor, even though it wasn't a police incident. We done Eric Garner a few years ago. Then we done it for Grenfell. Still, though, there's people that hasn't been housed for that. But we marched for that. We marched for that for weeks. And what do we want? Like, what's the point in the marching? They're not setting a clear goal. The people, they obviously, like, everybody's trying in it. So I'm not trying to knock the people that's doing it tomorrow, because what they're doing, what they've done, the effort they've gone through, they've got the police involved, you know, like they've done everything properly. So as everyone's like protected, because most people are scared now, the COVID thing. They think, oh, they're all going to get fined, blah, 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 blah. But what, like, with what end goal?
You know what I feel, yeah? Just to because I do think it's important I do think it's important that people that are not black do protest, yeah? I think it's very important, yeah? I think it's more important that non-black people protest than it is for black people to protest. Because we already know that our lives matter, so we ain't really got to protest for that.
Yeah.
Do you get me? But it's about it mattering to other people, and it's about other people showing that it matters to them, the things that are happening to us. Because we've known that it's happened to us forever, isn't it? So it's like,
What
so
do you
yeah, I
feel
do
about
think
the kids? What do you feel about the kids protesting, Ash? My son just left me a note.
To make the kids go to a protest, I'm not going to say it in that way. I know if I was a teenager at a protest that's about violence and injustice, yeah, I wouldn't. And I'm not there with my mum, and I'm there with my brethren. I'm not saying we're going there for trouble, yeah, but we wouldn't run away from trouble. You get?
Yeah.
Facts. And I'm not gonna. I wouldn't advise you to. Obviously, I don't, because I see the man. He's bigger than me. Yeah? You might hear me say that, but the truth is, big man, don't go, bro, because you ain't got nothing to prove. Because you're gonna be black forever, regardless. Like you ain't got to prove that you're fighting for the rights of black rights.
Can I just say though,
it's not worth it.
Can I just say though, my son has just given me a note to say, whatever happens, I'm going to this protest tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Butte Park in Cardiff. Now, he's only 14, he's just turned 14, and he has suffered quite a lot of racial abuse in his secondary school. He goes to a Welsh school, secondary school, and there's hardly, I did mention this a few weeks ago, there's hardly any black people there. Or Arab or Chinese, it's very, very heavily white. Okay, so he suffers on a daily basis. He comes back to me and he says, the girls are giving me a bit of stick, and I really think that it's because I've got dark skin, and and I always try to reassure him and say, no, it's nothing to do with that. It's just hormones of teenagers. But he's always had this thing in his head that it's because he's different and because his name he doesn't like his name, he wants to change his name, and I remember having this identity crisis when I was around about the same age, didn't like my name, didn't understand who I was, where I came from, because my family my mother was white, obviously my father was Arab, but we've got other cultures in the family as well. But with Shafiq, my son, his family, there's more black in his family than there are white. So I never thought that I would have to face this issue with him. I always thought that he'd be comfortable in his skin, confident, knowing where he comes from and everything else. But because of the school situation, he feels like he's got a lot to prove. So, he wants to go to this protest tomorrow, and he's telling all his friends, and his friends are actually concerned. And I still feel like I should let him go because it's him expressing himself. But at the same time, is it going to achieve anything? I mean, who's listening? Is anybody going to make any new laws? Is there
The reality is, you see an angry boy, there's no stopping him, and he wants to go and express that. And if I was his age, I would go I would go, but I wouldn't. I'm not, obviously, as a parent, I'm saying, I'm not. Obviously, something might happen, isn't it? And obviously, it's not necessarily a safe environment, isn't it? If you think the protests are going to be safe, then obviously. It's not. And they're going to be angry and they're going to be fired up. So you never know what could or couldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Who's he going with, Nad?
Well, he wants me to take him. But obviously I've got the other two. So I've got to make sure they're with my mum and I can go with him. I'm happy to go. I'm happy to take him there. If that's what he wants to express his feelings. I think he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's quite strong. He's sturdy.
Where do you live? No, don't give me your address, obviously, on camera.
Yeah, Cairo.
If he wants to come in, obviously you can't. I'm happy to take him. Or if he wants to meet me there, I'm happy to give you my phone number, and because I'd rather do that and then he's safe. Because I will box people up, no joke.
Yeah.
Let me do something message on the live, right? Let me do some message on the live. Right? So we've got Rhythms Roll says, this is facts. Certain workplaces, mentioned about what Chidi was saying about how work experiences, only employee blacks, keep the diversity quote unquote. Miss 100 likes says, ready, how do I join? If someone want to give Miss 100 likes the, okay, right.
How does she join the protest?
Chidi's mouthing no, go away. Mind, Body and Soul UK
Unmute
says,
yourself, Chuck.
educating yourself is key. Ignorance is common. Miss Hunter again says, how do I join? Ash, sort him out, please.
I've messaged him.
I WhatsApped him, blood.
Okay.
I've DM'd
Bring
him.
you out on the line. I WhatsApped you, blood.
Also,
Blood, I WhatsApped you, blood.
Mayday Carter, that's my brother actually, by the way, my best friend, says it's about coming together.
That's my brother.
Can't complain about black people not coming together if we don't do all things. So that's what you're saying about the protest. So you can't complain if you don't try to come together. So
I think it's important to protest. I really do. I'm not saying it's going to amount to anything or it's not going to achieve anything. Nobody knows. But if we don't speak out, there's not going to be a change. We have to revolt. We have to stand up. We have to speak out because otherwise nothing's going to change. This is going to continue for another, how many decades? You know, this is, like you said, like we've all said, this has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years and nothing's happening. Nothing's changing. So,
yeah, actually, on that, can I ask you a question, right? So, you said your son's friend's mum said they don't really want your son and their son to go to the protest, right? Would you think they'd have the same energy if it was the Glastonbury?
do that again?
You think they'd have the same energy if your son said they would go to Glastonbury or go to Wireless?
Would I have the same energy if he wants to go to a festival?
Do you think your friend's mum would have the same energy?
That's a really, really good question. That's a really valid point. I think there would be slight concern, you know, obviously, if they were a little bit older. You know, as a parent, you're obviously concerned about drugs, alcohol intake and everything else and crowds. I recently took my son to a rap concert. The minimum age limit was 14. It was KSI, he's a YouTuber, and it was a rap concert. And my heart was in my mouth. They were doing the... what's it called, the mosh pit, when they all run in and they crash into each other. And I was like, oh my God, my son was right in the middle of this thing. And I stood back. I wanted to give him his little bit of independence. And he's a big boy, thank God, he's a big boy. And he stood there and he embraced it. But I was so worried because mentally, he's still only a baby. You know, he was 13 at the time, but he looks about 17, don't he, Chase?
21.
21. So, you know, I think he's very mature, he's very clued up, and, you know, he's got his own mind. He's a very, very competent individual in that sense. We're a very open family. We discuss political matters. We discuss what goes on in the news, you know, social media and everything. He's really open. And like I say, he's always had this insecurity about his background and his race. And, you know, I think it would be a good thing for him to go, to be honest, tomorrow. I really do. I think it'd be good for him to have a little insight. But, you know, who knows if it's going to achieve anything. But it'd be nice for him to feel the passion and the enthusiasm, not just from black people, but from, you know, his white friends want to go as well. There's going to be people from different backgrounds, isn't there? There's not, you know, it's not just going to be, you know, led by black people, is it?
We have got a guest that's joined us, Mr. 100. Before I go to Mr. 100, I'm going to read something that someone sent to me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's a little bit distorted.
It was muffled first, but it's okay now.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, when you
Right.
put me on the spot with the first question.
Right, so Mayday, my best friend posted something, right? So it's about MLK. And he says, after MLK was assassinated, 110 American cities started rioting, causing $47 million in damage. On the sixth day, the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was passed. And then you guys talking about, is there any point to that? You're trying to refer to that saying there is a point for 6 days later, the Civil Rights Act was passed. But anyway, welcome to Mr. 100. We've got another guest. Mr. 100.
Yes.
How are you doing? That's all your views, your thoughts?
Yes. Big up everyone inside. Big up everyone.
Family.
I'm enjoying this.
I'm drinking.
Still, man. No, seriously, I like everyone's opinions differently, man. Like, it's good to see, obviously, because remember, like, obviously, I'm from London. You lot are from outside London, innit? It's other people's views, innit? Because obviously, as a UK woman, so it's like, obviously, we think that as London, we've got a certain way about things. But me personally, obviously, everything that you lot are talking about, I fully respect it and hear it. one thing I don't understand is that what people need to realize is that we act on America's impulse. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
As in, like, cool, this guy got killed in America, yeah? I can guarantee you, in England, if a young in someone and had the neck on their neck, and he said, I cannot breathe, a young youth from England or whoever's filming would at least push the police off it, even if that means them getting dinner after or whatever. You know what I mean? People forget that, like, for example, when they showed us that documentary on Mark Duggan, people are forgetting that they showed us that basically they're not even sure if he had a gun. You get it? And riots went on for that, but nothing didn't happen. That's what I personally think. Rioting and stuff, but I don't think nothing's gonna change. I'll be so honest, bro. We know racism is like it's hereditary, isn't it? Personally, that's what I
said. It's hereditary, you know. I don't think it's hereditary like that, but yeah, I do get where you're coming from because it ain't stopped. No generation, it ain't died out in no generation yet. So you could be right.
How can it die out? You have to understand, how can it die out and the white people forever know their history? That's what you're not understanding. It can't die out because black people will never know their history. So they forever, there will always be a superior race, isn't it? There will always be a superior race. So by that alone, racism will always be around, bro. Do you get it? If man actually search up the meaning of racism, crazy, bro. You get it? They are superior race because they know their history. They know where they're coming from.
Can I ask you a question, right? Can you hear me now? The better.
I can definitely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, Miss One, I'll ask you one quick question. Right? You know, you said if it was in the UK, it would be different. But don't forget, in the US, they got guns. They got a license to shoot you and kill you, right, with no consequences. So you can say it will be different because I can kick a policeman now, and you know, I might outrun him. If I kick a policeman in the US, he can shoot me dead, and he said I attacked him, and he's spared for his life. So that's why there's a bit of a difference. It's kind of comparing apples and oranges. You can't really compare the two. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts
I hear what
are.
you're saying, but I think you missed a major point, yeah? Because the mad point, what man just said, was that it was the fact that racism can't stop because they are taught their history, and their history is racist, bro. They're continually perpetuating their history, which is racist. So they're always going to feel superior because they're taught that they are superior. That's a deep concept, bro. I never even, like, obviously I knew that, but to hear that, like, that's something that we really can't just slide over, bro. We can't just slide over that. We're not taught our history. We're taught that we're oppressed and we're taught that we're slaves. They are taught that they conquered the world, bro. They are taught that they sailed the 7 seas, bro. They are taught that they changed religion, bro. They are taught that they had 7 wives, cuz chopped off a woman's head for not following rules and that, bro. They're taught about their triumphant history and how they conquered people and how they slaughtered people and how they... Fam, that's mad. That's why they're racist, bro. That's it. I can't even argue with that. They're literally taught to be racist. Literally.
So in regards to the like, you know, the education system now that we have in the not so Great Britain. So Mr. 10 Gears, yeah? I'm gonna call you Mr. 10 Gears because I just gang, you get me? But so you have a daughter. What do you think about the education system in Britain in regards to teaching Black history?
Depends on. There is no Black history education that's taught within England, whether it's state or private school. There is no. The education needs to be it has to be taught at home, and if the only way we're gonna have the Black education is if we build our own schools, they're not gonna. They've made the structure of everything. I'm 35. I remember Tudors and Stuarts. Like in primary, that's what they taught us. Taught Tudors and Stuarts. So
yeah,
it's not. I don't believe that the powers that be will just. They've had it too good, so they're not going to just give it up. You know, the ones there. There has to be some form of a chain, as I said before. Starts with economy. You know, the ones there, as I said before, about economics being, and then going into politics on top of that. Because when you go from there, from politics, you go to the court system, and then the courts, that goes to the police, and then from there, media. We don't own no media. So how do we connect to each other when we don't really have, like, the narrative? The media push the narrative for politics, whether it's left or right. So, like, we don't have no powers in media either. And then the last thing is education. So without that structure, there needs to be structure like that. It's not just like we march and like matters. Like, that's what I'm saying. What would have been amazing for me to see on Instagram, me seeing a post of someone with a microphone talking about, listen, we're gonna create a Black Independence Party. Like, there's like 4,000 people here. I want everyone to take out and give me £1. And this is what we're gonna do. I don't hear that. I'm just hearing like this. So without this, there are steps. Look, because it's been shown in the past as well, because you've got the Black Panthers, Black Wall Street, as well as other places in America that had that structure. The Black Panthers were infiltrated from the inside, but the blueprint was there. So it's like, how is the blueprint was there but hasn't been followed since? Like they gave it to them. Like, it's been gave it to them. Like, oh, I don't know. It's just the narrative's been set, and then it's like, then you can also say, what happened to coronavirus? Like, what about these things? What about, there's other things that are going that are being pushed aside, like the Windrush, the compensation for the Windrush as well. That's been pushed aside. There's a worldwide paedophile ring with celebrities and high-profile government figures that's in motion right now. That's been happening, and a lot of people are saying that this is kind of a ploy to, you know, the ones there. Like Hillary Clinton there's a video of Hillary Clinton. Like, even though this is left from the conversation, there's a video of Hillary Clinton raping with her secretary, raping a child of under 9 years old and killing a kid. There's a video on the dark web, and it's coming to light. She was in court the other day regarding all the emails. She has to give the information up. A judge has said she has to talk about her emails, as well as Obama as well. There's an investigation on. Listen, it's all like, that's what I say. But I say this.
It's true what you're saying. So.
But as I said, the structure is there to be set regarding politics, economy. Like, that's just not even on an intricate level, but that is some of the structure and some of the steps that need to be taken if we are to build like that. But regarding England's not going to allow it that easy to just be like, yeah, here, like, they just give man a little sauce, like, yeah, have Black History Month, like, there you go, bam, have that, like, you know, ease off in it, just settle with it, like, have Black History Month, like, what? Are you mad?
My son didn't even emphasise or talk about Black history. They didn't even introduce that. The curriculum needs to be changed now.
It's true still. Because I definitely made a point when I was younger. I remember growing up, he used to say to me, "Raw, they teach you about Tudors, Victorians, but Black people during them, what were they doing? They're not going to show you that, innit? They're not going to show you that. Yeah. Another point, what you said about Hillary Clinton and that's serious. That's like another conspiracy fact for now. Like, you go on Twitter, you'll see Obama talking like he's like, yeah, a protest should be done, all of this stuff. But him and Donald Trump are going back and forth. Like, Donald Trump saying, I've done more than you. I'm stopping this war, that. And that's something that Obama and the previous president didn't do.
Remember, there's an election coming as well over there.
Yeah. But Donald Trump's going to win it again. You have to understand. If you're president, you don't have to worry about the second election. It's the first one. You got it. He's gonna hold his 8 years, do his thing, Yeah, and that's just what it is. But personally, like what you just said, English, like they gave us the little Black History Month, but understand they just made our history about slavery. And if our history is about slavery, that means our history is about religion. If our history is about religion, that means our history is about division. And then that's just it. Like, I didn't get what I'm trying to say, because our history is about religion, but but religions are what separates us. So that brother over there is Black, but he's a Muslim brother, and I'm a Christian brother. So now me and him are on the same level. But you have to understand that obviously these things have happened, and people ain't really trying to seek their history. Bare Caribbean people out there would rather say they're not African or they're not, rather than actually going into their history. But obviously, that's what they done to us, innit? They took away our history and then they gave us a whole new religion for us to believe in.
What about Mr. Marcus? Mr. Marcus, you've been quiet over there. What about you? What are your thoughts on education system and Black history?
Well, like a couple of viewers said, I mean, I can easily remember the Truus and Stuarts and Henry VIII and the rest of his wives. You know, I could probably tell you the names of the ones that lost their heads. No, I'm being serious, but
Yeah, I'm saying.
I can't really tell you that I learned much about Black history or things like that, to be honest. And the way it is now is exactly the same. And but me sitting here as a father, I mean, my son's nearly 6, and he's coming from an Afro-Persian background, so he's very mixed, and he's bilingual as well. So as well as speaking the language he speaks at home and English, he's gonna need to learn about his cultures, especially in this country, because I mean, I'm gonna hold my hands up and tell you, I've told his mum, even though we don't talk and we're not really in contact, I've told his mum he ain't going to Iran anytime soon on holiday. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So whatever you want to teach him about your culture, he's gonna learn here, and whatever he needs to learn from me, he will learn from me. But we don't live close to where we're from. In fact, where do we come from? Where is that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can only tell you about my family's recent history, which is the Caribbean. I can't tell you where. Me and her was having this conversation today. I can't tell you about where we actually come from. That's all being just totally washed away. We're not going to be taught that in the education system. Do you know what I mean? Well,
education starts at home.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. But as far as the curriculum is concerned, I think, let me just be real. Fuck the Tudors and Stuarts, innit? Yeah? Fuck England. Fuck England's deep history. I was saying this to Rose as well earlier. England's been conquered 6 times in 900 years by 6 different people. Well, sorry, twice by the same people, the Vikings. So who are the fucking English? They've been Roman, they've been French, they've been Icelandic, they've been Norwegian. Who are the English? Who are they to teach us? Who are they to tell us where we're from? You sons of bitches, you don't even know who you are.
But you have to understand, they learn education from us in order for them to come later on and infiltrate the plan. What it was is that black people were naive. Black people also hated on other black people. That's why black people are quick to select black people. So yeah, we can sit there and say, yeah, the Englishman and rare. Yeah. But trust me, the first person to snake a black man was a black man.
Look. We was having the same conversation earlier. Yeah. I was talking about the last documented trafficked slave from America. His name was his original name was Kazula, but he came to be known as Cujo Lewis. And he said he told his family, and he wanted this to be passed down from him right up to his present day family, that it ain't these guys that'll fuck with you. It ain't white people that'll mess with you. It's your own brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when he told this story, he said it was the people that look like me that put me on the boat.
Of course.
Yeah. All white
Of
people
course.
did when they went to
Of course.
Africa was all they did was delegate. It was us who had to make the decisions, and fucking hell, bro. We
They
practically
them,
wrote our history for us, but we just handed them the pen. That's all we did.
But is that because
to
they
an
were
extent,
scared?
but you have to
Is that
understand, we're
because they were
going on.
scared?
We have to be real though. Obviously, cool, they did snake us, yeah. But you have to understand, obviously, they were forcing it. We've all watched movies where, for example, a guy's put in a position by a hierarchy. Like you have to look at it, like, for example, at boss level. A guy at boss levels come to you. You're just a normal person, and he's saying, "Snake your people, and you will live." Now, understand, and you and your family will live. Because you have to understand, yeah, we're looking at them like, yeah, they snake people. But you have to understand, cool, let's just say it's me, my wife, my 5 kids. I don't know everyone in the village. Obviously, I've got my loved ones. Obviously, no, you can't say, but I'm just saying I've got my loved one. But I don't know everyone in the village. Now, my man's come to me and said, "Bro, your family's going to die right now. I've got a gun to your daughter's head." No, wait, no, deep pit, bro. Man's laughing. But you have to understand, gun to your wife's head. I got a gun to all your kids' heads and saying, "Bro, you better take me to your people and make sure that they follow suit, or this is what's going to happen."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he snaked the man, but you have to understand the pressure that. You have to really understand.
You know where we're going
No one
with
did
this?
do nothing that force, fam. Like
No,
even
we're going
Jesus.
with this. Even if we say that, then we got to ask, why would they do that? Why did they feel the need to do that? And then we got to get onto the point of this whole thing, which is white supremacy, and that is the ideology that we got to defeat, because that's the reason
Their
behind
history, but you can't defeat it because they all got their history, Ash, and you know that. That's it.
No, but I'm not talking about defeating white ideology in the fact of them feeling like that they're superior, because that's not what white supremacy is about. Yeah, the white supremacy is not about them feeling like they're superior more than it's about them controlling.
They just hate black people.
And no, about them controlling everything. You get me? Because of the fear that they have, innit? Which is that due to genetics and due to other things, evolution, their genotype is weaker than ours, isn't it? So they're gonna over time fade out, and that's what their fear is, isn't it? That's what their whole agenda is based on. Their agenda is based on them fearing that we're not gonna be here in 100 years or 200 years. You get me? And that's the fear, isn't it? And obviously, you get me? That's something that people need to understand.
I think that's the original point, yeah, bro. Yeah, but what I'm saying is
that's the origin of it. That's the origin of it, isn't it?
Of course, that's the origin of it, yeah. But what I'm saying is, yeah, basically, what's going on, for example, in America, is that they are still hiring. Like, if you watch, for example, I don't know if any of you lot have seen it, but there's a film called Klansman. Yeah, you lot go and check that. It's called Klansman, and it's got Triple K in it. The black man. And he's around white people, and cool, yeah? Deep it, though. They know what they're doing. So they've hired these cops, knowing that they're racist, bro. Like, knowing that do you get it? But it's to even out the platter. Because, bro, they don't need, wait, hold on. Can I just say something? Man, them go so hard and protest about a white man killing a black man. That's cool. But let's just deep it. There's a bunch of black men that's killed black man, and niggas ain't, and not all of us are coming together and protesting. Like, oh yeah, my man died, we need to protest. This is something that's wrong. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It's cool, though. What happened? It's like backing that up is like saying what happened last year when all our black kids and that were dying.
Yeah, man, being killed.
Bare kids, and where was the Black Lives Matter then? Or where were the people coming out then?
Say? But this is what it is, though. We are.
Yeah, then it was a black problem, though. Then it was a black problem. That's the thing. It's funny because when it's internal, when they feel like it's because this is the thing I was saying about black on black crime. It's unfair and it's not right, because if I get stabbed now, yeah, these times I work, I got a child. I get me. I spend more time with my mum and my sisters than I do with any man them. You get me? I got niggas, don't get twisted, but I just chill with my family more. You get what I'm saying? So imagine I go out on the road now, I get stabbed. They're going to say I'm as bad as the perpetrator because I'm black and he was black. and I don't know him from nowhere. We're not brethren. He don't live on my street. We didn't grow up together, but you're saying you lot did that to each other. You get me? I'm like, how can it be each other? I don't know him. He stabbed me. I'm a victim. But because we're both black, the perpetrator and the victim is automatically the same.
Because
that's what the comedians used to show, man, talking about, oh yeah, if a police finds a body and then they find like a rat in his pocket, you just be like, oh yeah, it's one of these rat killings. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But that's what it is in real life, bro. Look at all these drill youths that are dying. These drill youths are dying. All these youths that are doing drill rap or rare, or they're in gangs, and police don't care because they're in gangs. But hear what now? An American Don died, yeah? This time Donnie's a porn star and he's a fucking gangster. People don't know that. People don't know that. But people already, protest, yeah, people, let's protest. We don't know what harm he's done to black people. But yeah, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Okay. Why the police, has he been made, understand, yeah? Has he been made a, can I just do you hold on. Go on. Sorry, I don't want to cut no one.
Why has he been put on a pedestal like that?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because the reality is now, cool, them 5 police officers got in jail. Deep it, bro. In America, I showed you what happened yesterday. I showed you in 4 Life what type of things happen. You think that you can't go get, you think that people, for example, can't go get their outside people in America to go and put hands on the head gov that's in the jail to make sure that them 5 officers that are on, for example, suicide watch, ain't on suicide watch no more.
Good guys, can I jump in and say something, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said about black, thank you, black on black crime, right? So first of all, I don't even believe in that saying black on black crime, because if me and actually get into a fight and he kills me, it's not black on black, it's a crime, innit? So kind of his skin and kind of my skin doesn't make a difference. It's still crime. It's still a crime.
Thank you. So we should protest for that as well.
But also, you said why we're not protesting like that, because I think the answer is due to racism is more systemic, I think, as Chidi was saying or Marcus was saying. So it's not just what's in front of you. It's not just what's in front of you. It's about what things you can control and things you can't control. So racism is taught. So racism is a taught thing. So I think Milan was saying her son and her son's friend were friends and they don't see colour because they're not taught racism at that stage. But racism in itself is taught. It's in your schools. It's in your education systems. It's in your governments. It's not just a man killing another man on the street.
What you just said is true. But we are also in school learning this with the white students, bro.
Exactly, and that's my point.
So
that's my point.
Also taught to us. It's also taught to us as black people. So we can be racist against our own kind.
No, we can't.
If I do
we
kill
can't.
a black brother,
no,
we can be racist. No, we can. No, we can. How much Jamaican people?
Blood.
I'm not African. And they're screwing up their face. Like, don't call me African.
That's prejudice.
Black people are racist to black.
That's being racist.
That's prejudice.
I know that's prejudice because
have you not seen the black feds, bruv? You not seen the black feds beating up black people?
I know what you're saying because black people can't be racist. No, actually, being technical, innit?
It's prejudice.
Okay,
black people can't be
prejudice.
But black people can hate black people too.
Yeah, right, but check this. I know you're right. Uncle Ruckus. Just like Uncle Ruckus from there we go.
Yes.
But what I'm saying to you is you're right. You said we're in the same schools, but the school system wasn't made for us.
Definitely not.
No.
There we go. So you're saying it's taught in schools, and we're taught in schools, yes, but that school system wasn't made for us.
He's saying that for the point that it makes us prejudice against each other too. The history that we learn, the information that we all learn, makes us look at each other as less also. That's basically what he's saying, because we're learning the same education. That's what he's saying. So if we learn the education about ourselves, because since I learned black information, it made me feel great, bro. It turned me into who I am today. Before I learned black information, I was not like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's black information that made me who I am today, 100%. You know what I'm saying?
And again, it goes back to education, as you said, isn't it? It's all about education. So that's why I say that I'm not fond of Black History Month, because I don't believe in it. I don't believe there is such thing as Black history. It's history. If it's a black, like Milan said at the beginning, if the black man made a bit in the light bulb, that made the light bulb, it's not just black history. It's not just relevant for black people. It's history. So if you want to tell me about Henry VIII, fine, all good and well. With about 6 wives, 1 he beheaded, 2 died, and whatever. It's cool. But also teach me about other things as well, and teach everyone else in my class about things, because it's about history. It's not
They
just.
teach us about ancient Egyptians, but they don't teach us that ancient Egyptians are black.
Bro.
That's what I'm saying. All of that. There we go.
Bro, I'm just about to finish my food, and I was about to say.
You just said ancient Egyptians. You just said that's what they say.
Hold on.
I'm Egyptian. I am Egyptian.
See, there you go.
I am Egyptian. My dad's Egyptian. I'm Egyptian.
Yeah.
You get me? But the mockery, you know, when I see these films and they mock the thing and they talk about, and you see the films with all the white actors in Egypt. And
I know what you're talking about.
Hurts my heart. But you know what hurts my heart worse than that? When I go to the British Museum and I see the man them's head chopped off and they're put on display and everyone's walking around it, pointing at it.
My man's tomb is in the British Museum. Why can't it return to the pyramids? That's what people don't ask themselves. Why can't King Tutankhamun, his tomb, return to the pyramids? If any of you have watched X-Men before, if any of you watched X-Men Apocalypse, where they show you these little subliminals, because they show you X-Men itself. You have to understand, in X-Men itself, they show you the different perspectives. So Prince Charles is based off Martin Luther King, and Magneto is Malcolm X. Do you get it? He's fighting for the right cause because he's fighting for mutants, which are black people. That's what they say.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. And then, but he believes in violence back because that's how he deals with it. Now, Prince Charles is saying no violence.
By any means necessary.
But we have to stand up. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, back to Amir. Is it Amir?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Bro. Yeah. It's mad that people say like, all right, Egyptians are everywhere. Why can't we just say Africans? They're Africans, but they're in Africa.
It's Africa.
Africa.
Separated.
But they separated it because the history is so great and they can't hide it.
Right.
They can't hide it. So instead of hiding it because it's impossible to hide because it's one of the great wonders of the world, they said it's Egyptian history. It's not African history. It's Egyptian history, bro.
African history.
All right.
Yeah, but they manipulated people to not even know that Egypt is in Africa. But you know, like some people don't even know that Egypt is in Africa.
They will say Africa, and then they will be like, yeah, but I'm going Egypt.
I'm going Egypt.
You're going Africa. You're
I
going
in Africa. I went Egypt.
Africa. Egypt.
Are you all right?
That's how you're supposed to address it. What part of Africa are you going? Egypt. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Trust me, I didn't know, as a black person, I didn't know that Egypt was in Africa until, like, in my late school years, when I was looking at a map and I was like, oh, hold on, Egypt is, I didn't know that.
Never been associated with Africa. Never been. When you hear stories about
East Africa, and then people just say like, where? North East Africa. What you said, Ash, about like you go to the museum and wherever they know that for example, that's what I was trying to say about X-Men. They basically found his tomb, that X-Men Apocalypse, they found basically he was called King Amun-Re, whatever, cool. But they tried to subliminal show about this. His tomb returned back to the pyramids. Obviously, each pyramid lines up with a star. Now, when the sunlight comes, it hit the top of the pyramid and it gave his tomb powers for him to basically take his spirit now and move to a next body. They don't want us to see this history, bro. Yeah, but deep it, like, they got his tomb that's from Africa in the English museum. Why? Why can't it be in the African museum? Why can't it actually be in the pyramids where people actually go anyway to see things?
Guys, quickly, hold on. I need to it's been another hour, so I need to stop the live and then restart it again. Yeah, so
I'm gonna jump off because I've got to look after. I've got to check this girl and I've got to feed her. Daddy duties and everything. It's been an honor. It's been an honor. I would love to stay for longer.
Is it a wrap?
No, for me it is. For me it is. For me it
I
is.
feel like I'm gonna exit out too, but after things muted, you're muted, my bro.
But yeah, people, blessings.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to big you up, Amir, man. Thank you for coming, man. We appreciate you. It's
Thank you,
been
my
an honor
bro.
to
Big
have
man
you.
thing.
Mr. Tengiz.
I said I got a girl.
Mr.
Oh,
Tengiz.
Mr. Tengiz, sorry, man. Next time you come on the Zoom, right, Mr. Tengiz, because I might just read it as it is. You get it?
Blessings.
Come
That
on,
man
man.
there's actually
Wait, yo,
Egyptian, bro.
thank you,
Keep
man.
that, people. Man
Well
can't even say
done.
Egyptian. Sorry, he's actually African, bro. East
African, man.
Deep.
Come on, man. Blessings, people, yeah?
Come on, man.
Bye.
Hotep.
Bye.
Hotep.
You're done,
Yeah,
no?
Hotep.
Come on,
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, I'm
Blessings.
saying. People don't even know, bro. How do I come out? It's been an hour, so you have to stop the live, though. DJ Sticky Finger said.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think we should be back on now.
So it's back now.
It's back now. Yeah. But to stop live
Okay,
every
yeah.
hour, you got to stop it.
Hey, Chids, what are we doing? Are we going to start slowly rapping, though? Because it's 12.
12, innit?
So I think the second topic. Hold on. So Chid, don't forget to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. We're supposed to be talking about zodiac signs.
You know what? To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie. I can't believe I'm going into it. I'm too tired.
James, I was hoping you were going to pick up the Aries gang.
It's all fucking long for me. Yeah. See me, I'm going to roll my split. Yeah. I'm going to my bed. I'm going to the moon. Fuck all of this. Black lives matter. Black lives have always fucking mattered. Yeah.
And I'm picking you up tomorrow on the way to the protest.
I did hear what she said.
I can't. I'll end up in jail. I'll be locked up tomorrow.
I did hear what she said.
James, come. So in that case, so can I say thank you first of all to Mr. 100 for joining. Also, thank you to Marcus.
I always try and join, you know.
Thank you to Pookie as well. So thank you to Pookie, thank you to Marcus, Mr. 100. Thank you to Amir if he's locked in still. So thank you for joining. First of all, we're back next week Friday rather, from 10 o'clock. Hopefully less technical difficulties. And this will be up on the YouTube, hopefully by Monday as well.
Pookie,
I'll see you YouTube.
Tomorrow.
I'm gonna message. I'll message you my phone number. Give me a ring.
Mr. 100. He's making a complaint.
My young DRS before that.
We're going to jail next week. I'm losing my job.
I know, but listen though, man. It's mad though. Quick, did anyone touch the subject that obviously they tried to throw out Madeleine McCain quickly?
I didn't even get to that.
They tried to pull that one out of the woodworks. Like, oh yeah, forget Black Lives Matter quickly. The girl that we've found for like 15 years is dead. Okay, we didn't guess that.
Didn't
you know what I mean?
We didn't know that 15 years ago.
And another thing as well, you mentioned Obama yesterday, bro. I went on Twitter, yeah. Oh my days, bro. No. The man had to shut his mouth, bro. You had 8 years, bro.
You had 8 years, you didn't talk about black people once, but now you want to talk about black people. Shut your mouth, you pussy, yo.
Trust me, Cat Williams said it. Cat Williams said,
you never even addressed niggas. You never even addressed niggas.
Niggas were waiting on this guy to say anything about something. Niggas go clean up trash. Niggas would have been outside. He didn't do that. Now he's talking about, he's tweeting. I think that everyone should go protest.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was like, bro, you need to relax, bro. I stopped the war, something that you didn't do. Do you get what I'm trying to? I don't know. I feel like he's getting, even on Twitter, if you don't go and see the war between him and Donald Trump isn't like, he's atting him. And Obama's like not atting him and he's tweeted. Like, I think that a protest should go on. And like, bro, I'm looking at it.
Guys, I think you should come to Cardiff tomorrow and join our protest.
Come! We're all going to jail!
There's one in London, though.
There is one in London.
Hyde Park, baby.
Are you going? I'll push you.
I'm not going nowhere, man. I ain't going nowhere. Hey, listen, you see that? I'm going to put it out there because we're online, yeah, and people can see this. It's not a lie. Go in your settings, yeah? Go to, if you've got an iPhone, or if you got a Samsung, I've got a Samsung, you do it for my Samsung people. You lot can save your own iPhone houses, yeah? Right, listen,
guys,
if you've got a Samsung, go to settings, yeah? Go to Google, yeah? And you'll see it says COVID-19, like COVID-19 tracking notification, yeah? So basically what it's saying is it tracks you to see if you've been near anyone that could possibly have been infected. And it will notify you and the authorities. So make sure you turn that shit off. Go to the corner.
Bro, forget about
it does say,
that's rubbish.
I'm
it
just
does
letting
say
you
you've
know.
got to download the app. It does say on there you've got to download the app first.
It don't, like, it was on my phone. I swear down, it was on my phone. I never downloaded.
Yeah, it's on mine as well. It's the terms and conditions it is for the app, but it says on there that you have to download the app in order for it to be able to track you. Yeah. But just keep an eye on it anyway, just in case it does, like, it starts to move. But mine was all disabled. It's on my phone.
My phone randomly started hitting my steps from nowhere.
Guys, can I just shout out this protest tomorrow?
Are you protesting, Ash?
Yes. My
tomorrow, are you protesting, Ash?
I talk to you in real life, bro. Shut up, fam.
Listen, Saturday, so tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Butte Park, so the 6th of June, is going to be a peaceful protest against police brutality and systematic racism. So if anybody wants to come along, I'm gonna take my son because obviously I've been given my orders.
I want to go, but I'm not peaceful, so I can't go.
Jade,
I don't think anyone from Cardiff's peaceful, to be honest.
Jade.
Yeah?
Listen, come, we're going.
Nah, no. Can't be swayed. Judgment don't sway. If I go, I will beat bare people there.
Nah, you need to stay home.
I will be that black woman, yeah? See, she's an angry black woman. They'll lock me up. It's all long. Staying in my yard. Peaceful, nice, chilling, listen to a bit of Barrett. Might stick on a little bit of John Holt.
Okay, question. Chiddy, question for you. So if you say you were going to decide, now I'm going to go to this protest tomorrow, and you see a couple of youths there, are you going to kick them? Are you going to express your feelings?
I am. So that's why I'm not going. And because I love children and I have love and respect for children. Children are first and foremost. I can't disrespect them, so I'm staying home because I'm not gonna be quiet. It's nothing. I'm so angry, right now that nothing. I even had to watch my own mouth in front of my own child. You get me? And I love she's first and foremost in my life. So because I'm so passionate about it, I can't be the way I express myself. I'm really loud, and then I might get angry, and I might see certain things. It's just gonna be mad for me. So I can't go ever. Like, do you know the amount of people who are messaging me saying, "Oh, please come"? Nah, I can't come. I can't do it. I hear
you, and I hear what you're saying. But your voice counts, Chid.
Nah, don't care. Listen, do you know how many people have said, "Yeah, but you've got like a good voice and people will listen to you"? Nah, don't want to. I'm not wasting my energy. I can't. I just can't do it.
The thing is, though, she can do it on a different platform. It doesn't have to be in the protest.
That's right.
One thing I wanted to touch on.
We don't want to protest, bro. We want to bang out. So we're not banging out yet. We're chilling out. Yeah.
But can I just touch on something? So earlier, someone was like, "Oh, what about the protesting and like COVID?" So the government, obviously, COVID is serious. It is serious. It's serious. But the government can't say to us, "We can't protest," because if they say that we can't protest, the same like riots that happened a couple of years ago, that's going to happen again. And our economy as a country, it can't cope with the riots because the government can't. We're still paying for the riots that happened, and now now we're paying for COVID, and then you want to riot on top of that. So the government said, no, let them have their protest, because bearing in mind, isn't it now a law or something that if you're all in a public place this close together, this close, you're going to get a fine. But at the protest, you won't get a fine because it's for the cause and it's for something, and the government are allowing us to do it. Then people are like, oh, the protest that happened a couple of days ago, there hasn't been a spike in COVID. Okay, one, there hasn't been a spike because the government from the beginning have told us it takes 2 weeks. So if a protest happened yesterday, they can't now say today there's been a spike, because we're all going to be like, oh, hold on, how come in the beginning it took 2 weeks to infect the world, but now it took us 24 hours to infect everybody? Then at the protest, the majority of people, I know that there were white people there and there were Asian people there, but the majority of people in the protest are black. In the news recently, what have they been telling us? Black people are the most, the highest race to die from COVID. So you see, in a couple of weeks' time, they're going to say that there's a spike. There won't be a spike. They're trying to keep us on lockdown, yeah? So in a couple of weeks' time, they will say there's been a spike, and they will say that so many thousands of black people have died from it. And why? Because black people are susceptible to dying from COVID.
Yes.
So this is what I told you from the beginning of the
not only
line.
that,
The
not only
media
that,
is feeding
even if
us
we don't
bullshit.
die, they can lock us up. They can say you lot have been around people that may have been infected because you was at the riots. That means you was around thousands of people. That means you definitely come in contact with someone who's got COVID.
Irresponsible.
Anyone who's got, you get me? You turn that shit off your phone. You might think it's not following you, but it will definitely tell you that you was at the. It will definitely tell you was at the protest. Your phone will tell them I was at the protest that time, that day. Yeah, if you got a protest, leave your blood clot phone at home. Yeah, you know what
that app, and people don't believe it because people will believe the app.
Yeah.
That app.
Don't leave the phone at home. They're coming for you in 2 weeks. I remember they built. Hold on, wait. Remember they built all them big hospitals, yeah, but there's no dead bodies. Remember I told you, lot, all you protesters are going in them blood clot places, but they built them and no one ain't in there. Yeah, and they built them for enough people, not a little bit of people, enough people. All of you protesters, yeah, you're going in there. Why? Because you've been around people with COVID. Because you've been around too many people.
Can I say one thing?
Hold on. Miss 100, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Mate?
Hold on, 100, 1 second.
Sticky runs the show, fam. Let Sticky talk. He will let you know when you can talk.
I'm going to read some of the messages. So Joey89.
Let DJ Sticky Fingers talk.
Yeah, there you go. Joey89 says it's at Parliament Square at 1 o'clock. So I'm not sure if that's Saturday or Sunday. So Joey89, please confirm. Also, Mayday Carter says, tell her she can be loud because it's about chanting. So it's about Chidi on your protest tomorrow. You can be loud if you want to. It's all about chanting, all right? Mr. 100, what are you saying?
What I was going to say was, people don't even deep. People don't actually deep. Like, you lot need to go on Netflix, watch Contagion, yeah, and watch, what's the other thing again? Something else. But understand, yeah, they planned this. 5.5 years ago, Obama told us that we need to prepare. When he was making like concentration camps, people thought, yeah, he's being evil. Who are you going to put in these camps? But he knew that there was going to be a virus that the scientists, the government, yeah? But it's a war between the government and the scientists. I'm like, that's just what I go with, and I know in my gut. It's a war between the scientists and the government. Why? Because the scientists, them, know that they can heal every disease. They know that they can heal every disease. The government are telling them, no, you can't heal every disease because we need our doctors to get paid. We need our hospitals to get paid. We need these things to get paid. You guys can't do that. They say, we got a cure for this, that. When they bring out the cure, they will call it something else that they did, that the doctor didn't authorize. For example, the scientists them didn't authorize. They didn't call it that. They just let you know what it is, and you went and called it that and tried to sell it and rare. Cool. So now they've let out a virus, and between the scientists, they know the high scientists them, they've got a cure for corona. But they're just saying, they got a cure for COVID, but they're just saying, you know what, let's see how the government deal with this, because they're not handling us, right? They know that we can heal the people. And what are they going to use? What are the government going to do by this? They said, okay, we're going to give you vaccination, and we're going to give you a chip that you can go to a fucking vending machine, and instead of using your phone or your card contactless, you use your wrist. Allow it. Come on, you know what it is already. So forget about Ash. What I'm trying to tell you, yeah, what you're saying about protests and you're next to bare people, COVID, it's bullshit, bro. It's bullshit, bro. We've been there before. You've seen bird flu. You've seen swine.
I didn't say you're going to catch COVID. I said that's the reason. It's a reason to lock you up.
Joey, has anyone looked at the comments? So Joey 89S said, you lot are speculating, my bro.
He also says it's on Saturday. It says Saturday at Parliament Square. Saturday, Parliament Square at 1 o'clock. I'm not sure where Parliament Square is. In fact, Mr. 100 talking about 2 films. He mentioned Contagion, actually a good film to watch. That was 2011 film starring Lawrence Fishburne.
2011 film.
Also,
so glad you mentioned the year that it was there.
Also, you mentioned the Klansman. It's actually called The Black Klansman, which is a Spike Lee film. It's an award-winning film, so probably one to check out as well. It's called The Black Klansman. It's got the words KKK in the middle, and it's actually based on a true story as well. So if you haven't seen those films,
Based on a true story. About when I was watching it, I didn't even know that it was based on a true story. When I was deep in it, I'm saying, raw, look what he done. That film, I watched it deeper than anything. I swear down. Because it's mad, because obviously my brother knows, yeah, like on the phone, if you ain't met me, I could persuade you that I'm a white guy. 100%. So when I watched that film, I was like, wow, like, yeah, and obviously they're expecting to meet a white guy, and they didn't. I mean, well, they did, but it wasn't him. So it's a lot still, man.
But yeah, no, what someone was saying that I was speculating. Obviously, I'm speculating, but at the same time, bring your phone with you and film the whole event. And in 2 weeks, when they come and take you and tell you that you was around the big crowd and you could have contracted COVID, yeah, even if you haven't.
Who said that comment? Wait. Who said that comment?
Wait, let me finish talking. Once you take it, take your phone. Once they track that you was around a big crowd of people, when they got an excuse to come and say that you need to be isolated for 14 days, I beg you, don't say I didn't say nothing.
Yeah. He said, you're right. My brother
said in regards to protesting.
Speculating. Whoever Donnie in the comments says he's right. Yeah, because if I go to my brother's house, and I strongly believe this, my brother cares about how I feel. That's my brother. Look, he's gonna do this.
I beg you, cut him off, please. Take him off.
He said, "Someone meet Mr. 100."
He said,
"Thank you." He said,
"Right, so listen, everyone listen." He said, "I was saying that you guys are speculating in regards to protesting. I'm ready to die for this cause."
But it's not die time. This is what I'm saying. It's just right time. It's right time. Yeah, then we don't used to talk about
you're lying. It's right time.
Oh,
it's right
shut
time.
up, man. Man can't tell me I'm
right.
lying. You man, listen, this is what I'm saying. Kids, you know what? Kids know.
He's not coming back.
Actually, the sick man, you lot. You lot don't know.
The gangster in me.
So
Don't do it.
You lot, he's a sick man. He's a sick guy.
I don't protest. I don't protest.
You hear him? Do you know what it is? Ash old school. So basically, what it is, yeah, he don't deal with the protests that people are doing. So like Cat Williams says, if you lot go and watch his comedian thing, he's like that. Obviously, white people have generalized the protesting and they've taken off the rioting thing. So like, it's not really a riot. It's like we're shaking signs and screaming. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, we're like, yeah, I'm rioting. You know what I mean? Like, we're shaking a sign saying, yeah, Black Lives Matter, we're rioting. We're rioting. We're not rioting. That's not rioting. We need to go and burn down the Houses of Parliament. We need to go and burn down couple. Do you get what I'm saying? We need to make statements. We need to make things.
Joey's statements.
No one's
ready for that, though. No one ain't ready for that.
Joey's talking so much sense in the comments. So, you know.
Man, don't want to stand outside Boris.
Vicky, what's the
That's what I mean. It's like, to a certain extent, it's like people are scared. They want to do their little thing with their signs and just walk and go and sit on the grass. And I'm like, no, kids, I'm 37. Like I said, since I've been 5 years old, I've been marching for the same fucking thing. Marching. We're just marching. So let's start burning stuff down.
Yeah,
like, let's go. Come on.
I asked my 11-year-old.
Otherwise, it's not going to change nothing.
I asked my 11-year-old if she wanted to go. I said, yo, you knew, do you want to go to the protest tomorrow? She said, man, they ain't ready for what I got to say yet. And I'm 11. So she said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying in my house. She went, I haven't got time. They're not ready for me. And that's an 11-year-old black child.
That's why Ash ain't going, because he thinks he's better than everyone. He thinks that he's got something else better to say. Like, no, we need to do this.
You see what I'm saying? This is what people think of me, for real. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think
what these men think of me, bro. That's what they think. That's what they think.
Fuck them.
Ash ain't got... Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, though? And I'll be real with you. I'll be real. He's my brother. I know deep down, basically, what he's saying is, if we're not going to war with these guys, if we're not going to, like, literally go to war, like, real war, why are we going to protest? We've done this already. This is played out.
No, but it goes back to what I was saying and what Amir said. The protest is for Black Lives Matter. You can't change that, but you need an outcome. What do we want? What's the outcome that we want?
Word, there's no intention. There's nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Do we want like black people released from jail? What do we want? For real, what do we want?
What do we want from these protests? What do we want to happen?
Just said this all over there. Said this all over.
No, I want to wait. Hold on. I've got something. I want to stop being. I want to stop getting searched because I walk down the road. Look at me.
Oh, look at him. Look at him.
I don't want to get searched because I look like this.
You look sick though. You look nice.
I'll
man,
say it.
forget that I look nice. Forget that I look nice. I look like a hoodlum. I'm telling you.
Forget that I look nice.
No, forget that I look nice. No, because police don't see nice when they see me. They see black boy, hoodie, hood. Remember, hoodie. Listen to the word, hoodie.
I don't think, wait.
I'm going to start saying, this ain't even a hood. This is shelter. Shelter with a jumper. This is a jumper with a shelter. But if you say
I
hoodie,
said that earlier though, and I don't think
imply
you
the hood.
Why is a hoodie, a tracksuit, and jeans halfway down your arse? Why is that a black stereotype? Where a briefcase? No, not. I said jeans. Listen,
I like that tracksuit. That's nice.
I said jeans. Stop trying to show off your cap and all of that. Stop trying to be flexing on us. Yeah. Why can't a suit and a briefcase be a black thing? Why does a hoodie have to mean that you're bad, that you're gonna do something, that you're carrying something? Why is that?
I'll be real. Do you know what? Let me not actually act like it. Let me not act like, come on. Let's not act like, do you get what I mean? If we're out here killing each other in tracksuits and hoodies and masks, you think that white people ain't gonna be scared when they see a beaut in a hoodie and they don't know the difference? All they heard was last week on the news, my man was wearing a hoodie, a tracksuit, and a mask, and he killed a woman, and rare. So of course they're gonna walk past the guys in the hood. There's 5 guys in the hood. Yeah, they might not be doing nothing, but they're wearing hoodies. Yes, I'm gonna grip my bag.
And again,
the other day, where did we go at? And we walked past that woman, and you said he was on some. Why is she grabbing her purse? In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, she's wrong for grabbing her purse, but is she?
Yeah.
Guys, hold on. Let me read some of these messages, right?
No,
so,
she's not.
Listen, hold on.
You said let him read the messages. Shut up, man.
So I'm saying. Joey 89 says COVID will scare you and distract you. Mayday Carter says it ain't played out. You probably wouldn't even be speaking about it now if the people wasn't making the noise they are.
What was that again?
So Mayday Carter says it ain't played out. You probably wouldn't even be speaking about it now if the people wasn't making the noise they are.
Speaking about what word? Speaking about being black.
I've been speaking about this for years.
Come on, Jim. The reason why we know each other is because we identify the fact that we're black and we feel like our culture is misrepresented. So that is our whole thing, innit? So I get what you're saying. We wouldn't be talking about George Floyd because it wouldn't have happened. It would better it didn't happen. But our whole point of coming together is to further black culture and to further just to kind of bring culture together. You understand? Because black culture isn't necessarily about black people only. It's not about exclusively black people. Because everyone comes from black people. Black people are loved. Because black people are secretly representations of God. God is love. And love transcends, innit? Yeah? So that means love can touch everybody. Yeah? If you accept black people for what they actually bring to the table, you're accepting love in its purest form. That's something you have to learn. Yeah? That's for the people that don't like black people. You don't like black people because you don't like love. You get me?
Yeah.
Any white people that are, because I've obviously, my brother's always dated white girls, and it's always, they know that it's love. If you come into the family, it's proper, like, we got lots of white people, I've got mixed race cousins and shit, like, it's love, innit? If you embrace the black culture,
then you're loved. Yeah.
You're part of it. It's not like you're outside and you're looking in, and you get me? You're a part of it. You get me? All the jokes, you're part of it. You get it. You get me? Understand?
And that's the point. That's the point. I do want to make as well, because obviously I'm angry when I'm talking about certain things in it. So I come across, and then people take it as, or you being thing to all white people. And I know, listen to me, I got a bag of white friends. My bestest friend in the whole world is white, yeah? It's not all white people, yeah? But the white friends that I have, they love black people. They love black culture. They respect it. Do you get me? And they show love, and it derives from love. The hate, I'm talking about the hate. Like, I'm not saying, it's not, to me, it's nothing, I don't see colour because my family, it runs too deep in my family. Do you get me? There's so many colours, so many different shades, so many different backgrounds in my family. I can't see colour. But what I'm saying is, it's not that I have.
We got a choice because we're black, so we have to see colours. You get it? Because
no. But this is where we're misconstrued, because we're taught in art. We're taught in art, basic shit. White and black ain't classed as a color, bro. So here what now? That's it. That they're not actually classed as a color. You know that, innit? Like, let's deep that. What is there?
So whilst you're checking that, right? Yeah. So whilst you're checking that, Joey89 says they got a Black Lives Matters message in the Call of Duty. You lot are capping if you can't see the benefit to these marches. So talking about the game Call of Duty, they got a Black Lives Matter message, which was on the news actually as well. They're saying, you know, there is a benefit to the marches, essentially.
yeah, it's benefit for the people that are getting funded for doing that, fam. It's benefit for the companies, because people think that they know things, but people don't know nothing. These people
No, you can't say that.
I'm saying you don't understand the what marketing is, bro. Please don't upset me, people. Marketing is a real thing. If this thing wasn't trending, right, let me not even say that. They're doing it because they love them.
Facts. No. Facts.
No, they're doing it because they love black people. Everyone is doing it because they love black people, not because it is marketing and because if it says it, people are going to look at it and people are going to talk about it. And how much? It's nothing to do.
Do you know how many posts I've seen?
No, 100%. No, 100%. What I said is marketing. Because the reality is, yeah, obviously this thing's trending, isn't it? Alright, boom. Man, like, what's his name? John Boyega. What's his name? My man Boyega. Out there.
People are putting those things in their hashtags for fun. Do you know how many posts I've come across yet? And it's got nothing to do. I come across a vegan post telling me about dairy, yeah, is bad for me or whatever. And in the caption, the hashtags were Black Lives Matter, John Boy, whatever his name is, yeah, all that. And I'm like, what has this got to do with Black Lives Matter? Are you saying like dairy?
No, because basically you have to understand John Boyega's position. Them man there come from Attack the Block. If any of you don't know about Attack the Block, that is like a hood little film, a little hood film that bust. You get what I'm trying to say? It was on BBC, and he was the main actor. From there, he went on to Star Wars. Yeah. When he went to Star Wars, I was on Twitter at the time, and I saw not the hate, but like black people saying, "Oh, rare." Basically sold out left, man. Rare. But hear what? He's out here. He said he's out here. Forget about his job in Star Wars, which is a trilogy. You have to understand, Star Wars is what's the word when you say that there's gonna be hella movies that are gonna get real Oscars, real things. Like it's a
franchise.
It's a franchise,
it's a franchise type of thing. So himself as the first black man to be in Star Wars, the new ones, because the first black man before that was Samuel Jackson. Like, you know Samuel Jackson, he's a good actor. So deep it. All right. So understand, he is now the next one up. He's risked that to go and protest. So I hear what you're saying, Ash. I hear what you're saying, bro. But I hear what I'm saying, bro.
I didn't say protest was wrong.
Wait. Each of us, because you have to understand, you got 5,000 followers, my bro. You got 5,000 followers, my bro. Yeah? Or more, yeah? Bro, now, when you put up videos of you talking, I'm going to get... No, sorry.
Oh, right. So while you're doing that, let me just read some of these messages. Miss Cassandra Lamard says, agreed. The marching and protesting is only a benefit to those marketing and jumping on the bandwagon. Then from what Ash was saying. Joey89 says, I don't care how much units they sell. I care Sorry, I don't care how many shoes they sell. I care who knows about the issue. Going back to about the Call of Duty stuff. And Miss Cassandra Lamard says, but a lot of people care about the issue. It's just a way to make money at the moment.
I don't think there's anyone in the world that doesn't know about black issues. And if they say they don't, they're lying. And if they're telling the truth, it's because they don't want to know.
Can I ask a question? Let me ask a question. I got a quick question. You know, you're talking about Call of Duty, right? Saying they're jumping on the bandwagon and some other brands as well. My question is that necessarily a bad thing? So if you think a brand, I don't know, let's say Apple, for example. Let's just pick Apple just randomly. Think how many people will use Apple products. Even if Apple don't believe in it, if they're promoting it, there's going to be millions of people that will see it as well in it. So I probably prefer that they do it just to be on the bandwagon so that millions more people will see it as opposed to not doing it. And that's millions less people that see it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Even if they see it, are they going to take it in though? Because it's like what I said. Although the hashtag was it was a vegan post, but the hashtag was like Black Lives Matter. Are people reading all the hashtags? Someone might have typed in hashtag Black Lives Matter, and a vegan post popped up, and they're like, "All right, cool," swiping past it. On their feet, swiping past it. This Apple thing, it could be on my phone now. I don't know. But where are they hiding it? I don't know where to look for it. I'm not looking for it. I'm not actively going out there and looking for it. So does it actually matter? If Call of Duty have put that in their game now, cool. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, let me buy Call of Duty because it's got Black Lives Matter. Once they've got it and it's been at home and they've played it for give it a week, do they care then? When this is out of the media and there's no focus on it, are they playing Call of Duty because they're supporting a cause, or they're playing Call of Duty because they've played Call of Duty? I don't know if it goes up in numbers or different rankings, but do you know what I mean? Because they've played Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, are they now playing Call of Duty 6 because that's what they've done? They're not doing it because of Black Lives Matter. But companies are just jumping on it, like we said here, because it's a money-making thing now. Because Black Lives Matter is on it, people want it. People want it and want it and want it. Once it's out of the media, no one's going to care.
Let me. I'm going to counter that, right? But let me just read the message first before I counter it. So Mayday Carter says, if anyone has a better way of rallying up the people to the scale of what we are seeing, please go do that. But it doesn't make sense to downplay the marches. Joey89 says, exactly my point. You can't change everyone. You can try. Now, my response to Milan is, yes, there is a point to it. Because if you think about it, right? Call of Duty might have 1 million followers, 1 million people playing the game. For example, that means there's 1 million more people that have seen that post. So I'd rather 1 million more people see it, and that's just doing a simple example. 1 million more people see it than not. So if they think they're going to do this,
would you rather 10 people saw it and because they wanted to see it and they want change and they want to help, or 1 million people see it just because it's Call of Duty? They're not doing nothing actively to change it. They've just got it because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right? But here's the thing, though. Those are probably the 1 million people that need to see it. Because the 10 people that want to see it already know about it. The 1 million people that just seen it.
Those sticks, because sticks, we're not talking about something that is happening in secret, bro. We're not talking about something that is hidden from the masses, my guy. We're talking about something that is public knowledge for more than 100 years, bro. Every single generation that we've lived through, like that we can directly say we've met someone from our family, like the oldest family member I've ever met, yeah, that's ever touched me or ever laid eyes on me has gone through this, bro. Do you get it? It's not new, bro.
No, you're right. But here's the thing, no.
If you don't know by now, no Call of Duty, my guy, no Call of Duty is going to help you know that, my brother. Okay?
All right, check this.
By now. The only people, like I said before, hold on, one second. The only people that I care about knowing now is these kids, bro. The new generations, because that's the only people that matter. When the little girl was telling her dad the truth, her dad said, nah, fuck, man, you don't know nothing about these people. Some of them are good, but most of them are ghetto, and most of them are just saying, Dad, you don't understand, they've been through teaching her parents. I don't care about the parents no more. Because the parents will pretend to like black people while it's cool.
That's right.
It's in them. It's instilled
That's
in
right.
them. They feel like
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
But then the kids will grow up and love black people for real. And I'm cool with that. And that's the people that man really want to roll with. That's the people that man.
All right, so let me counter that, Ash. Right, so I see where you're coming from, but check this. You're saying that people should know. You said they use a song. If you don't know this by now, right, you'll never know. But that's the people that are on one side, isn't it? If you think about the posts that you see, the things you see on social media, there are some people that are completely oblivious to what's going on. Yeah, people say, but that's the thing, though.
I bet you told them. I bet people told them. Black people get fucked up by the police. Nah, they deserve it, man. You don't understand they're criminals, though, man. You get me? Come on, they knew. They just don't want to know. They don't want to know.
No, you're right.
But check this. And there's people saying, bro, if you're my friend and you don't rep this thing, you can't be my friend. What? People are calling out people now. People are putting people on the spot. So people are feeling like, bro, I'm not racist, bro. Like, that's wrong. I believe it's wrong. But you see, like I said, and I said it before, but I know, like, not all white people, not all white boys, but you see, like, white boys that roll with white boys, yeah? White boys that roll with white boys, that only got white friends, yeah? They are together laughing at the pictures of the man them on their knees, on their head. They're laughing. And that's their personal joke. You get me? That's their little personal thing. They're not going to say it if they're around their black mate or if they're in black company. When there's no black people around them.
Depends on the time you're doing that as well. You've got to understand that you're wrong one.
Yeah, again, as I said, I'm not disagreeing with what Ashley's saying, right? What I'm trying to say to you is, as I said, there are some people who just don't know, innit? And people
but
like
how can you not know? Because if you take away the social media, there's the news, the newspapers, word of mouth. How did you not know?
You know why you don't know? Because it doesn't affect you. You know what?
Your colonial imperial history teaches you.
I'll tell you why you don't know. The reason why you don't know because you don't experience it. So if I'm white and I'm 20, I live in, I don't know, Newcastle, I've probably never been to a club and had a bouncer say to me, "Not tonight, lads." You know what I mean? If I'm 20 and I'm white, I live in Newcastle, I probably had a woman cross the road when she sees me walking towards her. You see what I'm saying? So some people are oblivious to it.
You don't know about them white lads in Newcastle very much, do you?
not tonight. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been to clubs and they're like, not tonight, lads. Yeah, not tonight. Why not? And then you see the people behind you going. You see what I'm saying? Or I've been to an airport. I went to an airport. Well, I went to another country. There was a white couple in front of me, went through no problem.
Oh.
The guy stopped me, like, looked at my passport, looked at me, then gave it back to him and walked off again. I thought, hang on a minute, what was it about me? I looked behind me, there was a white couple. Did he ask him for anything? No. So that's what I'm trying to say. Some people are oblivious to what goes on in it. So that's why these things are important. That's why Call of Duty putting it on, there's 1 million people watching Call of Duty. Of that 1 million people, there'll be a lot of people, 500,000 people that wouldn't have known about it or it's new to them.
Even if they know, what makes you think that they're still going to care? You get it? Because if
they might not care.
If they cared, they would have known.
It doesn't affect them.
They might not care. They might not care. You're right, it doesn't affect them, but they may not care. But you know, it's about awareness and education, isn't it? So if you're not aware of it, if you're not aware of it,
I'm not against it because maybe I'm just being devil's advocate in trying to make people think bigger than just the hashtag. But I appreciate it. You get me? I'm not going to pretend that it's something better than nothing, and I appreciate the something. Let's be honest. But I'm not gonna cry and hug and bed. Listen, hold on, one second. Remember, my man, heed this though, because people are so stupid. They're kneeling on. They're accepting police, yeah, kneeling on one knee in front of them. Someone, beat that. The man got killed by a Fed kneeling on one knee on his neck. But yet, you're letting the Feds, yeah, like they're disrespectful as shit.
They're taking a piss.
You're letting the Feds kneel in front of you on one knee. You get me? These times they fired a whole mixed race man with an afro out of the NFL because he kneeled on one knee. Yeah. Now the Feds are taking a piss. He just killed a nigga with one knee, and now they man are crying when they see Feds going down on one knee, talking about we're sorry. Am I a prick, man? You better go down on both knees. You want you to smoke trees. You think you want you to own G's. Yeah. Fuck that, bro. Taking a piss.
Get on
And now
both
taking
knees.
pictures and you got black people crying like, ah, you get me, all respect and that. They don't respect you. If they respect you, they would never go down on one knee again, bro. Again in their life in front of a black person. But they're doing it. They're doing it because black people are sitting there like, oh, are you dumb? You don't see the symbolism, bro. You don't see the symbolism, bro. It's a deeper thing. They've got police kneeling on one knee in front of crowds of niggas. So I keep saying niggas, I don't mean niggas, but I'm just saying it like, you get me?
You're allowed to say it. You say it.
Like they got, you get me? Police kneeling down on one knee in front of man, like with no hat on, putting their hat on the floor and that, like it's, bro, am I meant to believe that this is a real symbol of solidarity, unity, and forgiveness, and you're sorry? No, bro, you lot are mocking me, bro. Everyone's oh, you see they're doing something, yeah, then the next day, they're banging you in your face, dragging you out your car and that. You get me, gassing your pregnant girlfriend and that. Allow me, bro. You like idiots, bro. Yeah, if I was in America, I'm telling you, I've been saying it. I'm not even going to say it because I forget that this is actually on the internet sometimes.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let me read some of these messages. Hold on. Miss Cassandra Lamard says, it's not about it being violent at all. Think about a lot of people seeing us as troublemakers. There is a huge difference between rioting and protesting. Violent rioting is only proving the stigma that many have about black people. Mayday Carter says they care when enough people make noise. No action definitely isn't going to do anything. Joey E9 says, so what should be a show of unity to you, bro? And Miss Cassandra Lamar says, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't make any noise. Of course, noise needs to be made. People just need to be smart about the way they're doing it. Yeah. And then someone says, give me a serious answer.
He wants to know what.
Go on, Chase, go on.
No, what was it again? What should be a show of unity? Okay, now go on.
I was just going to say that music speaks volumes, and it always has. And there are a lot of musicians that have got the message through loud and clear through their music. So, for example, Tupac.
N-I-G-G-A.
Activist there, you know what I'm saying? And Bob Marley, you know, they did project their views through music. And, you know, we were talking about stereotypes earlier on. We were saying that, you know, there's an image, there's a persona, you know, guys in a tracksuit are deemed as, what's the words I'm looking for now? Okay, so they're deemed as problematic. And then somebody in a suit is, you know, they're going to work, they're in their work attire, obviously, but not necessarily. They're not necessarily, you know. I just think that music is something that definitely plays a big part in society. Rap music, there's this song going around now again. I'm sure you all know this from NWA, Fuck the Police. They're trying to sort of bring them back up to make people aware of, you know, this has been going on for a very long time. It's not a new thing. Something that's been going on for a very long time. So I think music is powerful. I'm sure you all agree with that. I think if we can get messages through music has always been very positive. It's always been successful. But in saying that, you know, you've seen there's a lot of conspiracies, there's a lot of corrupt events that have taken place where musicians they've died through, you know, supposedly an illness, but it might not be assassination. Same as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. If you speak out, they shut you down straight away.
That's what I'm saying.
But I still think that if you're going to get across, if you're going to get the message heard loud and clear, then music is definitely a good platform.
I also think children as well. Children.
Even though there are stereotypes, like we said just now, if you know, dress code or, you know, your lyrical content, they shut you, like events have been shut down because of, you know, they're trying to say that they're promoting violence through their music. And I still think that, you know, it is definitely a strong platform. So to be heard.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone quiet.
Oh, yeah, we just got that one.
Stop the police. NWA. That's all I
Fuck
can
the
say.
police.
Fuck the police. Do you think that'll be the third song you play tomorrow, guys? The Butte Park?
Well, you know, I just think that children, like, I'm always so interested to hear what children have to say about it. I don't think children have been. They are now, like, you're starting to see, like, certain posts or whatever and certain things. Like, me personally as a mother, I always ask my daughter, what do you think of this? How has this affected you? We sit down as a family. My mum will ask her, my brother will ask her, do you get me? Like, family will phone and ask her, how's your mental health? How is it affecting you? And I think that children need to be given a bigger voice as well, because they're not being heard. No one, like, throughout all this, I ain't really heard too much about children, do you get me? It's like, no one's really saying anything, so I think that children should be given a voice and given a chance.
They've got more of a voice now than when we were children, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The UN, ASEA, United Nations rights of the children. They're more heard now than they were when we were kids. So they definitely have got more of a platform, and they are heard more than they were.
Yeah.
Like I said, my teenage son's very vocal. He's very opinionated.
He is. I've spoken to him. Yeah, but then that's down to the parenting as well. Like, do you get me? Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think all this stuff is important for the young people more than it is for us big people. Because because the only way we could change it is if we change it in a mad, drastic way. Yeah. If we want it to change right now for us, we need to do something drastic. Yeah. If we don't want no one to get hurt, which I can probably see most people don't want, then we got to focus on the children. We got to focus on our kids. We got to focus on the next generation.
They're the future.
They're coming up thinking differently and feeling differently about each other. You get it? We got to focus on having these kind of race relational conversations. So I think that protesting, white people, black people protesting together would be good for the next generation to see that unity is possible. But obviously, I'm just talking from a militant kind of perspective. I can drop that for because I know that majority of people, because the majority would have to be on that for it to work, and I know that majority of people are not. And I want my daughter to grow up in a world where she's happy and it's peaceful.
Equal.
Yeah, and it's equal.
Yeah, where they feel equal, where they feel like they can fight to be the next prime minister or they can be the next president. You know, why shouldn't they feel like they can be the same, like as equal as everybody else? I agree.
It's a tough one with children though, because like my child, she's 11, but she's very strong-minded. Do you get me? She's got a mind of her own. I can't even tell her about herself. Do you get me? And I said to her, like, I want her to grow up. She knows that she's strong. She knows that she derives from a race that's built on strength. Do you get me? And I asked her, and I asked her again, do you want, if she told me that she wanted to go and protest, I would take her happily. But my child, my 11-year-old, looked me in my face with tears in her eyes and told me, what is the point, man? What's it going to do? It's not going to change anything. It's just going to be that protest for a day, and then it's going to continue, and I'm still going to go to school, and somebody's still going to call me a nigger. Someone's still going to look at me and say, oh, I'm black. I've even had people messaging me, people from Cardiff, messaging me, oh, In and I'm beautiful. Why are you messaging me now? Now all this shit is going on, telling me about my daughter's beautiful. She's always been fucking beautiful. Do you get me? Her skin colour's so lovely. The tone of it, do you get me? It's so beautiful. She's so lovely and dark. Fuck off. Do you get me? Because I was looking at her before thinking, fucking hell, how come she's so dark compared to her mother? Dickhead. This is what I mean, and this is why I cannot go and protest. And don't get me wrong. You get me? Like, I rate people who are going to go and protest, whether it's a peaceful one, whatever, and all that. And like older children, yes, they need to go and experience that and live. But me, as a black woman, raising a black child, in a predominantly white area, I'm not about it. I am not about it because it's the same white people, they're the same white people who've given us hell. They're the same white people who've made my daughter feel a way about the colour of her skin. They're the same white people, who've chatted shit, and now they want to all of a sudden, oh, but I'm all for the black people. I don't want none of this. Now, what you don't really want is you just don't want the black people to get angry. You get me? It's going to get mad for you. That's what it's about. So I cannot. I've had so many people say to me, but Chid, you speak, you have a voice, you should be there. Why should I be there? Why should I be there? I shouldn't be there at the end of the day. From the time my 11-year-old can come and tell me why I shouldn't be there, I'm going by that. Do you get me?
You're tired. You're tired. You're fed up. You've been speaking for a long time.
I'm done. I haven't got time for that. I can promote peace. I can promote love. I can promote unity. I don't have to go to a protest to promote any of that.
Exactly.
And I stand by that. It's my human right. And my right as a black person living in a predominantly white area that is very racist, and fake. It's my right to feel that way because I've been made to feel that way. I've never been embraced. None of these things have happened for me. You get me? So then why should I go in? Don't tell me what I should go and do. Because you haven't embraced me. Now you want to embrace me because the world is fucked. Black people are actually noticing that black people are getting ridiculed and fucking abused and killed. You get me? Now you're recognizing that now this shit been happening for time. My grandmother have had people killed in front of her. Do you get me? God rest her soul. She had to witness that. And I'm sorry, no white person's gonna know about that. You're not going to know how that feels. You're not going to know how it feels to sit in your grandmother's house on a Sunday and be told, that she couldn't go certain places. She couldn't sit in certain places. Do you get me? So I get it, and I rate the white people who are standing up for it, but they're never going to understand. Do you get me? And as for the fake ones who have passed remarks on black people in whatever context, whether it's a joke or whatever, then they got a damn cheek even going to the protest. Damn cheek. And karma will get them for that.
Obviously, people can change, innit? We're not going to say people can't change. We're not going to say people can't change.
I'm not saying people can't change. It's like, oh, good for you. It's good for you if you change. You know what? It's better. It's better for society if people change. Then I'm just saying, like, who are these people to come and tell me, or any other black person, but you're black, you should be there. You've got a good voice, you should be there. Who the fuck are you to tell me that? No,
they're relying on you though, Chid. You're a very, very vocal, positive, strong.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm only vocal and positive, I'll always be a strong black woman, but I'm only vocal and positive about things that come from a place of love, things that come from a place of the real, things that come from a place of reality. And the reality of this is you never gave a fuck before. You're only giving a fuck now because it's relevant.
It is following the trend. It's following the trend.
It's trend. And I haven't got time for it. I really haven't got time for it. Unless you've been 100 from the start, and you've tried to understand from the start. I've told you as my friend, or I've come to you as a person, I've come to you as a colleague and told you this shit has been happening for time. This is not new. This is experience I've experienced, whatever. And you want to ignore it then, but now, then you want to come in my inbox and message me, oh, I hope I've never offended you, or I remember that one time when you told me, you only remember it now because it's relevant. Do you want to remember it before when I came, do you get me, when I was coming into work crying my eyes out because my daughter's been fucking racially abused, do you get me? Do you want to remember it then? But you want to remember it now. So no, I don't think I should have to do anything.
I've got to say though that this is definitely, as horrible as it was, this situation that happened, the event that happened, the fact that somebody filmed it and they aired it, it's gone in our favour. We have to raise awareness. We have to do something. We have to act upon it because there have been so many past events that have gone unnoticed because we didn't have modern technology. We didn't have a voice. We were all bullied. We were all overpowered by white supremacy. We couldn't speak up because we were scared. If we open our mouths, we're going to be crushed the same way.
But then there's like, I just think, I don't see how people can't not be aware of it, because from the time you're seeing images, or you're certain films are on the TV, or you're seeing images of the black man being strung up by a fucking rope, being lynched, you're telling me that people don't know about those things. The same thing. To me,
and this is not the first video of a man getting killed by the police as well. This is like...
Do you get me? Like, I don't understand. People are going, listen, right, my brother has been out with his white friend, only black boy there, the only one not doing anything, but he's the one who's getting thing by the police. This shit happens all the time. So I don't understand. In my head, I really don't understand how people are saying, Oh, is that how it goes? Yeah, that's how it goes. It's all
It is.
100.
I don't get it.
Stereotypical black woman.
It's mad. It's
Go on,
mad.
Stick. Go on, Stick.
Yeah.
So just want to say it's been another hour, so do we want to stop the Insta live and restart
Nah,
it
I'm
again?
getting upset.
I'm done with you, lot. I'm done with you, lot. I'm done with all of you.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
coming off.
listen, that's the WRAP, mate.
I'm coming off. Like, I've had
Yeah,
enough.
RSVP me. Chili's got respect and he's stressed out.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah,
What
I'm
though?
done. I'm actually done. I'm
though?
gone.
Well, in that case,
Yeah,
in,
go on.
in that case, shout out to those of you that are going to protest tomorrow over the weekend. If you are going to do so, please stay safe. Make sure you wear your protective materials. As Ash said, leave your mobile phones at home if you need to.
What I'm saying.
Also, again, thank you for everyone that was on the live. Thank you for those who got, that contributed to their comments and made their voices heard and their opinions heard. Thank you to you guys. And I think nothing more left to say than thank you to everyone that's on the podcast. Again, we've got guest Mr. 100 as well. Got Pookie, got Marcus, got Joey in the comments, got Mary in the comments, we've got Mr. Sandra in the comments and others in the comments as well. And I think we are back next week, Friday, from 10 o'clock.
We are.
Hopefully, no more technical issues with myself, so forgive me again.
Well, you're getting good, though, Sticks. You're getting good.
He's doing good.
One of those things. So, yeah, but look, guys, have a safe weekend. As I said, it'll be up on YouTube, I think, by Monday or Tuesday, okay? So make sure you all visit. Oh, yeah, Chili, you can do the snapshots, Chili? Take a picture of everyone.
I don't know. I'm just mad. So I can't even take it still. I'm not.
You're all right.
I've already done it.
I didn't pose.
You did it when?
One thing.
Go.
I just want to add, yeah, guys. The podcasts are great. This is a good energy. We got I would say that you guys need to now. Obviously during the COVID it's a bit hard, but we got you guys need to get into one room.
We're doing that.
Yeah. It's hard though because they live in Cardiff.
Don't worry, we're making it work. They coming in London, baby.
Yeah. When you're coming to London, just let me know. Just let me know, and you'll be comfortable.
I'm gonna DM him now.
You get what I mean? Just let me know when you're coming to London.
No.
This is the one I actually don't want you there.
He'll pattern you, he'll pattern you.
You guys are
You're only a special guest. You're not coming back next week.
I hear that. I know that though. I know that. I'll be in the comments. I'll be in the comments.
No, I know in a minute, don't worry.
But hear what? If you guys just let us know when you're coming to London, I'll make sure that you're comfy and then you get it.
You say you got it like that, yeah? You make everyone comfy, yeah? You live in a hotel or something.
Yeah, he'll cook you up some nice food.
Hey, get off my podcast, brother. Yeah?
Hey, man.
It's lovely having you.
I don't see you pulling out the stocks, mate. I'm trying to make sure that they're comfy.
I'm going to get Ashley's mother.
Maybe you live the dream, mate.
Ashley's mother, my brethren.
What are you talking about?
It's Truuu Talk podcast.
Listen, when you
trying to make sure that it's proper.
COVID's over. Whoever makes it, yeah, whoever leaves their phone at home, yeah, all my
makes it.
Misha's coming with the goods. She's cooking.
Really, Mush.
Obviously, if you don't come, we'll get popping, man.
I hear you, Mush. I hear you.
We can get back in that studio and get cracking together. Get me? You know this one's going to be
Black
crazy.
Lives Matter.
That's what it's about, Mush.
Black lives do matter, just in case you work.
That's what it is about, Mush.
Anyway, going now.
Okay, guys. Next week, right?
Oh,
10
Mush,
o'clock.
I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow, Mush.
All right, Mush. See you later, mate.
All right, mate.
Guys, even the guys on the Instagram live, don't forget we're back next week Friday, forgive me.
Friday.
Next week Friday, episode 8, 10 o'clock. I know that, Nadia's going to be late, Milan's going to be late, but myself and Ash and Chili will be on time, okay? So next week Friday, 10 o'clock. All right?
Yeah.
So guys, have a good weekend.
Big up, man. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Pookie, see ya.